Travelers on the Omnibus occasionally touches on mature subject matter with mature language. As such, the audience discretion is advised.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Travelers on the Omnibus, a road trip through nerd and pop culture.
That sounded so fucking just like, I don't want to be here. Fucking put some enthusiasm in your fucking voice and do this shit right.
You did volunteer to host.
I did volunteer to host, yes. And I will do my host duties.
More energy!
I would host! I'm Ethan! Is that energetic enough for you?
No, that sounded like Stockholm Syndrome.
Yeah.
Welcome to Travelers on the Omnibus, a field trip
There's
through...
no hit. He's hosting.
This is my host!
He said road trip, though, when he said his.
We're already,
Field trip.
We're all
Welcome
already.
back, everyone. My name is Ethan Skinner.
Sorry to interrupt you, but ladies and gentlemen, we have special guests this week from the Warriors. It is Ramshambo and fucking Jeremy, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for showing up to the show tonight.
It was a big get for us.
It was great. Ramshambo, how have you been?
God.
Who's
Speechless.
Ramshambo?
They're going to Ramshambo for
They're
it.
going to roast Shambo for Ramshambo. It's going to be great. No, ladies and gentlemen, with us this week, our friends from Whiskey and Wrestling, both of them. Michael was let out of the house. Oh my God, it is Michael Hill and Jason Holder.
Yeah, we're here to try to bring some class and professionalism to this podcast.
You won't get any from us.
We don't know what those words
I
mean.
have no idea.
I thought I'd come and just supervise since y'all tried to slide in on our gimmicks and talk about SummerSlam and, you know.
We're Whiskey and Wrestling West Coast, remember?
It's not our fault that y'all pigeonholed yourselves into one and to only being able to talk about two things.
And you have literally everything else to talk about.
Yeah,
People,
everything, including wrestling.
And movies! We're coming for you! Silence your cell phones!
Leave nothing standing. That is the motto of the Travelers on the Omnibus.
But no,
Apparently so.
but in all seriousness, thanks.
Wait, who are the rest of us?
Let's
Yeah.
see.
You've already introduced yourself. I'm James McCarthy.
I'm Jody Kite.
I'm Brady Davis.
And in all seriousness, thank you for coming onto the show.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
Michael and Jason.
Oh, it's too early for all the respectfulness and niceties. What the
I gotta
fuck?
get it out the way before we devolve into something else.
Hey. He can be nice to us now because I'm pretty sure whenever the main topic of this show comes up, that's going out the window.
Yeah, we're probably that's fair.
I'm
That's
not
fair.
expecting respect from any of y'all.
That's fair.
I would like to apologize in advance for any comments that I make towards the end of this
I'm not
episode.
going to apologize for any comments I'm going to make.
All I'm gonna say is I'm gonna be nicer than everybody else.
I feel like you guys have less
Cause you're a liar.
Hey, that song's actually on my top 5.
Oh shit!
I feel like all of y'all have
Henry Rollins, all
have
right.
a level of disrespect that you have to give to me every single night.
No, it's just because you're young
I'm
and
young,
we're old
yep,
and
uh-huh.
we hate that.
Yeah,
yeah.
we despise you because you have more years left on this earth than
I
we
will-
do.
We're jealous of you,
To be
Ethan.
perfectly honest, I don't despise him for that one. You can
That is-
have it.
That is fair. That is fair. That is fair.
I will counterpoint with we do have a disrespect Ethan bingo card. And right now, ageism is. If you have ageism on your card, please block that one out.
Yeah.
And we'll just continue going with the show.
And if you don't have your bingo card in front of you, you can email travelers@gmail.com and we will.
I have to read some weird ass disrespect Ethan Travelers bingo
Holder
cards.
is now
But in an
emailing us
episode,
right
we're
now.
gonna do disrespect Ethan Travelers bingo. It's gonna be great. He's already scripting it out now. Jason, I love you.
That is one L, correct?
I'm tired of disrespect. What's everyone been doing here recently? I'm tired of this disrespect.
I've been disrespecting Ethan, and it's been pretty good all week. It's been great.
Yeah.
Other than that, I really haven't been doing much.
You generally see him more, so
is true.
you have
That's
more
true.
chances to
That's very
disrespect.
true. He has
We
more-
just have to hold it off until Wednesday and Thursday, but you get more time.
I feel like
That's
all
good.
of you guys just stored up, and then once Wednesday comes, it just releases from y'all.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like a
Catharsis.
Dragon Ball Z move. We
Yeah.
store it up all.
5 minutes later ends up being
the
6 hours later.
The emergency release valve on like pressure tanks
Yeah.
and stuff.
we spend all week going.
5 episodes later, you finally just let it all out.
Yeah. That's how that works.
So what I've been doing, my buddy Phil came over and we played the Pandemic Cthulhu version of that game. 2 players. We got our asses handed to us. It was a good time. It's a fun game. And then we were just chilling, and Phil saw my VHS collection, and he was like, "I've never seen St. Elmo's Spire before." And I'm like, "Cool, let's watch St. Elmo's Spire." And like 15 minutes into it, he's like, "Why is Emilio Estevez stalking Andy McDowell? Why is Judd Nelson cheating on Ali Sheedy, who is being obsessed by Andrew McCarthy, who keeps a big bowl of pictures of her? Why is Rob Lowe cheating on not just his wife with a baby, but also his mistress with somebody else?"
I heard that as Rob Lowe is cheating on his wife with a baby. You may need to want to structure your sentences better.
Commas.
Comma. Rob Lowe's wife, who has a child. There you go.
Yes. Okay. There you go.
With Demi Moore, or at least he was trying to.
Now I understand that.
Yeah. That makes
Good deal.
sense. That makes
Did you
sense.
say that Rob Lowe's wife has a child with Demi Moore?
No.
Because that's what I heard.
Okay, cool.
I've seen that.
Yeah,
It's called Fire in the Sky.
that's also a terrible movie. That's also a terrible movie.
Shut your fucking mouth.
You know, funny thing about St. Elmo's Spire is it was directed by Joel Schumacher, from Lost Boys and Batman Forever fame.
Bat nipple.
And
Holy rusted metal, Batman.
Holy rusted metal,
'Cause
Batman.
It's metal.
Exactly.
It's rusty. It has holes in it.
PSN released their free games this week, so I've been playing Tony Hawk 1 and 2 and wanting to throw my controller through the TV because I can't find all the textbooks and videotapes that they make you get in the game. And then the other thing I've done, I'll talk about later because I think Brady's going to talk about his experience with it, I would assume, maybe.
Yeah, I feel like several of us are going to talk about.
But that's all I've been doing.
Well, since you've alluded to it, Brady, how have you been? What you been doing?
Yeah, watched a couple of things this past week. The first one, real quick, I watched Prey, the new Predator movie. It's excellent. We need 100 more Predator movies set in the past where he fights ancient warriors. That would be awesome. The movie is well paced. It looks gorgeous. I would have went to see this in a theater. Like landscapes and everything look great. It's directed by the same guy who directed 10 Cloverfield Lane.
I like that movie.
It's well written. Like everything is set up very well. The Predator design is really cool. He's like he's still technologically advanced, but he's a less technologically advanced Predator. Like he wears less armor and stuff like that. The use of Native Americans in it is like really cool and interesting.
There's apparently a cut of that where it's all in
Comanche.
Yeah, isn't it?
I found out that it's a dub. And to use the subtitles, it's the complete closed captions. It's not just the just the subtitles. The rumor that I had heard was that they literally did every take twice, once in English and once in Comanche. But I have heard maybe that might be coming out, but what is available now is just you can watch it in Comanche dubbed.
This
That'd be cool as hell.
I have one thing I want to say about that movie, and I have a feeling, this is just a gut feeling, that this film was going to probably be in theaters, and then Disney acquired Fox.
Yeah, it's a Fox movie, so they were like, "Fuck that."
I think it's because Disney doesn't want to share any more space with its own properties. Because
that is also true.
It's got Marvel and it's got Disney and Pixar and all that other stuff.
Star Wars.
And Star
Yeah,
Wars. Well, Star Wars theater experience is probably not as much of a problem now, but
yeah, nothing Star Wars is coming out on the theaters
not
in
right,
a while.
not right now. But yeah, that's my feeling that they probably want to put it on Hulu.
They've done this a lot. There's been several other Fox or Fox Searchlight movies that they have thrown on Hulu. This is a very good movie. I would say watch it. Anybody who's complaining that the main character, because she is a female, is a Mary Sue, is an idiot, because they very well set up every single thing that she does. She's not an all-powerful character. She does fail during the movie. And she's just a smart character. She outsmarts the Predator. She outplans the Predator, which is, exactly what Arnold Schwarzenegger does. That's the whole point of the first movie, is that all of these big beefy dudes with all this weaponry can't do it. You have to just outsmart the thing, you know.
You have to be a big beefy dude that outsmarts them.
Yes. It's a very good movie. Go watch it. It's great. The second thing that I watched is something that I've been looking forward to for a very long time, and that is The Sandman. The TV show came out Friday, and by Saturday morning I had watched the entire thing. It's really fucking good. It's really, really good. It's about as perfect as I could have imagined of an adaptation, because it is a very difficult thing to adapt if you've ever read the comic. It's a comic by Neil Gaiman. I think we have talked about it on the show before, but yeah, it's perfectly cast. I thought, you know, the things that they changed from the comic, I think they do a good job of like they're good decisions. They're not just arbitrary decisions.
The production on it looks amazing.
The production is amazing.
Awesome.
I kind of, the only slight qualm that I have is I wish that it would be maybe a little bit more vibrant or weird. Mm-hmm. But I think a lot of that is like budgetary constraints. Right. Like you just can't go all out, because, you know, drawing something really crazy on a page costs a whole lot less money than actually putting it in, you know, on the screen. And they only have so much. They had a pretty decent budget, I think, but they only had so much money that they could do. So
I like that almost all of the actors and actresses, for the most part, are all British.
Yeah,
like there's been a lot of really good British actors in that.
Yeah,
I've only seen the first 5 episodes. I haven't watched all 8 or 9.
10.
10? Oh shit.
10.
Okay, I'm halfway through.
That's something that I'm excited about. That I really liked. They actually made it 10 episodes. It's not just an 8-episode show, which is what they do nowadays, which I don't like. You know, they give it the amount of time that it needs. So yeah, that's what I've been doing.
I've heard a lot of good stuff about the Sandman from what you guys have said about
from half of this table.
This table about the book, and a lot of coworkers are saying that the show is really good. So hopefully, probably tomorrow I'll start.
Yeah, even if you just like fantasy, it's amazing. Like, even if you have no idea what you're, getting into.
Holder and I were talking about how if we think that a person who hasn't read the comic can really like follow it and everything. I lean on the side of yes. I think, Holder, you said that you were maybe skeptical about that, but I would be interested in somebody who hasn't read the comic actually watching it, so I can like have that discussion.
I could see some of that, because if you don't know anything about the comic, it gets kind of strange when you're introduced to characters such as some biblical characters early on. Yeah. You're like, what are these guys doing here? Yeah, and they don't really explain why they're there or anything like that.
Like, I found myself, because again, it's one of my favorite graphic novels.
Oh, I love it.
The whole thing, right? So, but I found myself watching it, and a character would come on screen, and fan Jason is going, oh, that's so-and-so. And, immediately knowing what it was. But then part of me was stepping back from that and going, if I didn't know who that was already, are they giving enough exposition for me to be like, okay, I know why this character is a main character. I know why this character makes sense. There are several characters I thought throughout it that I feel like should have gotten a little more discussion.
Yeah, there's no discussion for like, this is not, but Constantine. There's really nothing there. If you don't know what's going on, you're like, what?
There's a couple of segments where it's one of those, like, these are in the comics, they're a very major story point, and in this, it's kind of stapled on. Overall, though, even saying that, right, I still loved it.
Yeah.
Still fantastic.
It's a really good show. And they all the things that are in that first, because it's the first 2 volumes, Preludes and Nocturnes and The Doll's House. If you get the collected versions, that's what they're going to be called. And they set up and they like tease all the things that get teased in those first 2 volumes. So things that you'll see later that actually, that are actually big story points. There'd be all several times during the show, something would happen. Oh, they actually teased that. I didn't know if they were going to do that. Oh man. Oh, they're actually setting that up. So, this is going to be awesome.
Yeah, like the end of it, they set up the next major storyline.
Yeah.
Very well.
Good deal.
So yeah.
Yeah, it's great. If you haven't ever heard of this, it's a really interesting story that's sometimes a fantasy story, sometimes it's straight up horror, sometimes it's dark fantasy. There's a lot of different, really and truly they do a good job, I think, of like every episode kind of feels different.
Right.
Which makes sense with the comic because like it would flow between genres quite a bit.
It's like the only way I could explain it to somebody who's never like read it or wants to watch it is like, imagine if our universe contained myths and legends, fables and fairy tales and religions that all had a pocket of that universe that's all shared.
It all exists.
They all exist.
But we don't know it.
But we don't know it. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's very good. I'm looking forward to people who haven't ever read the comic book watching it, so I can have those discussions.
That's me.
There you
Yeah.
go. There you go.
Yeah.
I'm right there with you in that one, Ethan. I haven't read the comic book. I went to try to pick it up a couple weeks ago, and I don't have $50 for 2 volumes of a comic book.
Yeah,
So
it's kind of pricey.
go
check 3 Alarm Comics, just to see if they have it.
Also, you might be able to get some used copies on Amazon.
And there's
'Cause I know it's kind of pricey down at like Barnes and Noble and stuff like that.
Yeah, because now they've collected it into like it used to be like I think like three of the volumes that I have are now like 1 volume.
Yeah.
It's now in like 4 parts instead of like 8 parts. Or
Yeah, it was
something
like eight or
I think
8 or
it's
9 graphic
70
novels.
no, it was like 10.
Comics.
It was like 10. It was 10 volumes originally.
Okay.
Because it's 77 comics.
Yeah,
And it used to be, I think it was in 10.
10,
Now
yeah.
it's down to like either 4 or 5.
And
so,
there's-
they've condensed it a lot.
Right, and there's also like some side stuff, like there's a death,
Dreaming.
There's a death.
there's
The
a death book which
book.
is has some very
really
good
good
stories
stuff.
in it.
Yeah,
That's something that maybe if you haven't ever watched it, the Neil Gaiman's idea of death is very interesting. He said when he was creating death, he wanted he wanted death to be the type of person or thing that he would want to greet him when he died. So, in the comics, it's this skinny, cheery little goth girl, and in the comics, she's a little bit more wizened. I think she has she exudes wisdom a little bit more, but she's still that very kind.
very well-rounded character.
Yeah, so like it's a very, very interesting idea of death, something that's usually seen as like harsh and negative. So yeah, and then there is like a whole volume where they compile a lot of stories that he did that was just death. Yeah, so that's what I've been doing.
Jason, besides Sandman, anything new and interesting?
Playing some video games. Mostly Final Fantasy 14, getting prepared for the next patch thing that comes out with it. Painting some Blood Bowl stuff, which painting the Necromantic team, which Blood Bowl is kind of the comic side of Games Workshop anyway. Your Age of Sigmar, your 40K, they're all this grim, dark, gritty, everything sucks, it's serious type thing. Blood Bowl is, what if we took all those people and made them play rugby? So it's already got that comic feel to it. And this team that I've been painting is, what if we let the Universal Monsters play rugby?
Yeah.
So it's like werewolves. There's 2 ghosts. They're called wraiths, I think.
Yeah, I think so.
They're the race. They're sheet ghosts. And I say that because on the base is a clothesline that has socks hanging on it. And the sheet is pulling away. So if you've ever seen the Charlie Brown Halloween special
Or Scooby-Doo.
Any of that stuff, and you've seen that ghost where they literally threw a sheet over them, there you go.
That sounds absolutely silly, and I love it.
It's amazing. So I've been painting on those. I also picked up a Sylvaneth model, which is, what if the trees were pissed?
Yeah. What if the
and I
trees
painted
fought
it.
back?
So That's
Yeah. Oh, we did. We played some Warcry
some Warcry on Sunday.
Sunday. So
Yeah,
Warcry is like the smaller skirmish version of Age of Sigmar.
Brady bought his bone mafia.
Is it
Yeah.
kind of like the kill team of Age
Yes.
of Sigmar?
It's basically
Yes.
the kill team of Age of Sigmar, except there's less shooting. It's more melee centric.
Was there less shooting?
Well,
Brady?
unless you're playing Kadron overlords and all of them have guns, and I'm trying to get to you to kill you.
yeah, we the battle plan that flopped out was we kind of started on opposite sides of the board, and you had to collect treasure, and you got 3 rounds to do it, and we ended up in a tie due to 1 pip on 1 dice.
Yeah,
Because
he would have killed my guy.
Brady's skeletons are very slow,
Yeah,
and all of my dwarves can shoot things very well.
but they're very tough. Like,
He's walking across the board, and I am just shooting the hell out of him. One of the guys that I had on mine was if you spend a triple, which is you roll 3 dice, so they're the same. You can pick anything you can see, and you roll that many dice, and anything that's 3 up does 3 damage. And that's where I missed him by 1 because his guy had, what was it? I think you had 10 hit points,
yeah,
and I rolled and did 9 damage.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
And if that would have happened, I would have won. But because it didn't roll that, we tied.
yeah.
But it was still fun.
It was still fun. I enjoyed.
I remember having a lot of fun when me and Jody played Kill Team that one time, and I dabbled a little bit
It's
on my own.
the same thing. It's the same thing. Only it's dwarves and elves and skeletons instead of the same.
I feel like in
Space
a lot
Marines
of
over
ways
and
it's a
over
little
again.
simpler.
Yeah, it is.
It's
There's a lot
well,
less-
it's easier to pick up. I would say
You
there's
don't
not.
you don't have that whole am I in cover, am I engaging?
Yeah,
You don't have any of those.
the
kind
line of
rules.
sight rules are a lot easier. It's basically
Yeah.
just can you see them? Like,
Gotcha.
can you draw a line to them?
Yeah, it's a lot simpler. But it's fun. Like
Yeah.
it was very enjoyable.
And it's super quick. Like we played in what 45 minutes.
About that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was about 45 minutes because we spent more time messing with the printer trying to get some cards printed out than we did actually playing the game.
Yeah,
Of course, technology.
Because then,
slows
like,
us down.
Yeah.
it was 3 rounds.
Yeah.
And you had, I think, 8 people.
I had 10 people. You had
10
8 people.
I had 8 people. So each activation they do 2 actions. So you're not talking very long there at all.
Right.
Like 10, 15 seconds an activation type.
Right.
I mean, it went very quick.
Yeah, I've never played a long game of Warcry.
Lots of fun. Lots of fun.
Lots of fun.
Sounds interesting. Michael, anything new?
Sunday I took a trip over to Slidell to try a new restaurant over there. It's called A Taste of Chicago.
Oh,
And they have,
you get a pizza pie.
they did. You get a deep dish, a Chicago deep dish pizza. And
Hey, yo, I'm from Chicago. I got a pizza pie.
it was
like Chicago.
100%
Very
worth it.
Jersey
We're sorry to anyone in Chicago.
and Jersey.
I don't know what that was.
That's my Chicago voice. What you talking about?
That's the worst Tom Hanks doing Colonel Parker impersonation I have ever heard in my life.
It did kind of turn into
Some people call me the villain.
that. I'm sorry to interrupt you.
No worries.
Chicago deep dish.
Yeah, Chicago deep dish. It's well worth the drive to Slidell. I've been craving a Chicago deep dish for literally years and
okay.
could never find any down here.
Soup in a bread bowl.
That sounds good to me.
Could never find anything down here. So to have that was great.
I remember there used to be a frozen pizza company that made a deep dish pizza when I was younger, and I always wanted to eat it, but like my mom would only get it every once in a while because it took like literally an hour to make.
So there's actually a place in Chicago
Uh-huh.
that you can order pizzas from them and have them like they dry freeze them. ship
Oh,
them,
wow.
dry ice, and we'll ship them overnight to you. The pizza's like $20. The shipping is like $75.
yeah.
Damn. Before most of you were born, there was a Godfather's Pizza in Pascagoula.
There's one.
Yeah.
There's actually one on the coast here.
Really?
It's in one of those gas stations. I think it's the one that's
Loves on Cedar
Loves.
Lake.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're overpriced.
I'm sure they are.
Probably. Yeah, I've never tried it because I don't want to go over there to have to get a pizza.
Yeah. The other thing I've done is I went digging through my storage unit for my fiance's copy of American Gods because y'all have been recommending that I read Neil Gaiman for a while now.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't find it, but I did end up picking up another series of books. Kevin Hearne.
The face.
Michael, can I trust you because I have another? I have a copy of American Gods.
You can trust me. I'm not going to ruin your book.
Okay.
But
That's the right answer.
Right.
I asked Ethan the same question 3 weeks ago, and he gave me a bullshit answer. So now I can't trust him.
What was his answer?
I don't remember, but it was stupid.
It was recorded.
Out of context, you asked Ethan, "Can I trust you?" I said, "Are you sure?"
Yeah, that was the wrong fucking answer.
Him being facetious.
We played a lot of Blood on the Clock Tower lately. There's been a lot of social deduction mistrust that's been going around. So it that might have been a byproduct of it.
But that's not an answer. Can I trust you? Are you sure? No, that's why he asked.
You know mine and Brady's relationship. He says one bullshit thing, I say one bullshit back.
Oh, no. We have a three-way dance, my friend. That's all three of us.
Every once in a while, I try to be serious with you, but shit.
He doesn't know how to turn it off, Brady.
Yeah, that's the problem.
But he gonna learn.
You gonna learn today.
I'm sorry, I keep interrupting your shit.
It doesn't matter. I don't care. I can interrupt you at any time. I can turn your mic off. I got the board.
He has the power.
Jesus.
We gave the power to our guests.
But
That seems like a dumb idea.
That is not our brightest idea.
this author, the series is kind of cool. It's Kevin Hearne and the Iron Druid series.
Okay.
It is kind of young adult, the writing of it, but it's not super that way.
Mm-hmm.
The main character is a 2,100-year-old Irish druid.
Oh, okay.
And all of the other pantheons of gods make appearance. Like in one book, he has a conversation with Jesus.
Okay.
Like, literally Jesus.
Okay.
In another book, he and some other guys go and fight Thor. So
Well, this shit sounds right up my alley, to be honest.
it's
Like,
they're not super long.
mm-hmm.
I am 4 books in to the series, and last night I bought all of the books that we didn't have because I'm going to finish this.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That's cool.
And it's only taken me about a day to get through each book.
we might have to do a book swap, but not right now because I'm trying to read through my annotated American Gods.
I will have to approve that.
Okay,
for the
yeah.
fiance
That's
'cause they're her
fair enough.
books,
That's
but
fair enough.
I am open to it. I just have to get approval from the
Yeah,
other half.
yeah.
So
The better half.
yes.
So, sounds like an interesting book.
See, now I'm going to talk about the more interesting thing that Michael was a part of because I was a part of it. So about 3 days ago, Caitlin, his fiance, writes, Michael Hill just described poutine as fries with toppings. Now,
He's right.
yeah,
I am not wrong.
There you go.
They are
Very
literally
true.
fries with toppings.
Michael's response, please explain how I'm wrong. Caitlin's response, it's fries with gravy and cheese curds, not eat toppings. I tried to do the voice similar, but she's her own voice.
Yeah.
Michael Hill, are the cheese curds on top of the fries? Our friend Michelle is pizza bread with toppings? And Michael was like, yes.
It is, actually.
I mean, to be fair,
So then what the hell is it when restaurants call it flatbreads instead of pretentious ass pizzas? And then Michelle's like, heavy sigh. So she's already that's one round for the Hill gang. So
Jesus.
then what goaded me into this, an actual Canadian came in and goes, my Quebecois just screamed. And
Hold on, because I want to make this better for you.
yeah,
That's Caitlin's cousin.
even better. I'm all for it.
Her aunt and her cousin.
There we go. My next post was our local poutine here in East Ottawa. It's like, of course you have poutine just on the dial if you're in Canada. And Caitlin's response, thank you. And at this point, I was like, no, I have to get in on this. And so I wrote, that is some exceptional fries with toppings. Her response, non, c'est un mélange. The spice melange? You mean these fries come with toppings from the planet Arrakis, also known as Dune.
Jesus Christ.
Michelle writes, so nachos are just corn chips with toppings. Hang on, we're getting there. Miss Kathleen wrote back, lol, a mixture of fries, gravy, and curds, not a topping. My response, I hope Denis Villeneuve has a scene of Fremen eating fries with toppings covered in melange. That's so Arrakis. Then Michelle, and then I was like, Michelle, my apologies for not seeing your comment, Michelle. I became distracted with talk of Dune. No, corn chips with toppings are a Frito pie. You used to be able to get Frito pies at Sonic Drive-In, but that menu may have changed since the advent of COVID-19. Jason Holder, poutine, the salad of Canada.
That is probably very true.
Very true.
And then to finish this up, me again. We call them FWTs here in the States. Caitlin, you are wrong! Lol! I can think of 2 people who regularly call these fries with toppings. Send me some of those Canadian nachos when you can. So what I'm basically saying is they scored maybe a point, and we scored like 50 points.
Yeah.
Yeah. That is fair. They weren't prepared.
The fries
for you.
with toppings of America.
So by that logic, everything that Belgicans sold was just poutine?
I was about to say, I'm going to start referring to Belgicans as a poutineery.
Yeah. Oh, man. You know, I don't have social media, and I'm glad that I don't because it's better for my mental health. But every once in a while, I miss out on little treasures like that. It's not worth it to get back on, but, you know.
Well, I was going to say it's not nearly as impressive as what Jay just said. How am I going to top that off?
That's a
that's
With cheese curds and gravy, you stupid sumbitch. Haven't you been paying attention?
That's what you get for putting yourself last. You got to start it off.
Hey, Ramshambo, what have you been up to?
He is not Ramsham. Jason or
He's
Michael,
shit.
one of those. He's shit. He's shit.
He said it himself.
And then to his left is Ramshambo and fucking Jeremy.
Fucking Jeremy.
We're going to have a knife fight later to see who's who.
Hold on. We can say fuck on this show?
Yes.
Oh, well. Fuck.
Say it!
He said it already.
Of all the nights to forget my my beer bottles.
Oh, man, if we get tanked up and do this, it'd be great.
I don't know if I want drunk Jade to do.
Oh, no, I'd be the only
with
one
him.
not drinking, and it'd be even weirder.
No.
That would also be
No,
true.
we've talked about this before. Anything that alters him in any way will just mellow him the fuck out.
Yeah.
That is probably true.
Like, actually, and my apologies for real talk. I get hyper depressive when I'm drinking.
Oof.
So yeah, I become like
You become a sad boy.
I become near suicidal. It's kind of weird.
That's-
I don't like drinking.
That's
that much.
sad.
So I've always wanted to do this. Ethan,
Yes.
what the fuck have you been doing?
Thanks for asking.
Thanks for asking.
That really tickled you, didn't it?
Are you sure?
I heard Siri voice. Thank you for asking.
Did Bianca flip a switch to where it's just like automatic mode now? Like,
Nah, Ethan somehow Ethan has been put into SAS mode.
yeah,
Recently.
It's all the bullshit.
he just got his SAS card upgraded. So
The
Hold on,
confidence
I'd
of
like
having
to-
a woman in his life.
I'd like to hear Ethan's side of Footgate over at the McNarb's arcade area.
what?
Footgate. What?
So regale us with the story. This is what you did this week, by the way. You didn't do it this week; it was several weeks ago. but
Several
it's now
weeks
the
ago.
story. Jody, begin.
So we were playing Street Fighter, and Ethan's leg was a little bit like close to mine. So I'm like, "Hey man, can you move it?" And he goes, "It's on the line." Like, yeah, it's right in the middle of the trackball. You are correct. And I asked him nicely again, "Can you move your leg?" No. So I crossed my leg over his, and we had a very awkward first match.
Jesus
And then he
Christ.
said, "Do you mind?" I go, "Yes." "Would you move your leg?" He said, "No." I'm like, "Okay." So we played the rest of that one game, and then I walked away without saying anything. Irish goodbye at his ass.
I forgot about that.
I haven't.
Second.
I'm old and angry.
He is. Jody is crotchety.
Yes.
That is,
I've been
that is
crotchety
the-
for a long time. Old age has nothing to do with it.
Yeah,
that is the term that we use.
Secondly, I kind of remember that differently, but I'll let you believe what you want.
Whoa, no.
Tell
I
your
want to
fucking
hear your side now.
Tell your fucking side.
Yeah, tell us the side where I wasn't like
you
just
thought we
nicely
did- if we
asking
thought-
you to
you know
move
what?
your
You thought we
leg.
didn't-
Hey, Michael and I are here. Let's have wrestlers court.
Bow down, bow. Bow down,
Oh, okay.
bow.
Good job.
Bow down, bow. Bow
That's why-
down,
that's why you get paid the big
bow,
bucks.
bow. Welcome to Wrestlers Court with your judges, Michael Hill and Jason Holder.
All right, Ethan. So we've heard Jody's testimony. Let's hear yours.
So we were up at the shop, and like Jody had said, we were playing some Street Fighter, and
A likely story.
yes, very likely.
We'll be the judge of that.
And I have to have like some leg room whenever I'm at the arcade thing, and so I kind of like spread my legs a little bit. I was not overstepping the half boundary. My leg was on my side of the little trackball in the middle, and Jody was like, "Hey, do you want to move your leg out of my side?" And I was like, "But my leg's on my side. It should be good." And then all I see is Jody whip his leg around and cross mine. I'm like, okay. And I do the same with my leg. And then we just awkwardly play Street Fighter, like cross-legging each other. And then we play the set, and then he walks away.
Who won the set?
Me.
You won the set?
Yeah.
All right, Hearne. Rebuttal from Jody Kite.
I asked you nicely to move your leg. It wasn't like hey, could you move your leg? It was like, hey man, could you move your leg? Because normally, let me tell you something, Ethan.
Top-notch podcast.
Let me tell you something. Besides Brady and myself, our friends are, nice sized. You know what I'm saying? Like Jay's not exactly, smaller than you, right? Mm-hmm. Like, just a.
What does my fucking being fat have to do with
I didn't say fat.
going on in this
I didn't say
goddamn
fat.
fucking issue?
You got a foot on him. Okay.
Proceed carefully.
Yeah. When we play on that tiny fucking main machine, we both step to the side. Neither one of us have our fucking legs in the middle of the damn arcade cabinet because there's not enough room for that.
That is a valid point.
Final point, Ethan Skinner.
My leg was not in the middle of it. My leg was on my half of the arcade cabinet.
Your half of the trackball. It was literally like under half of the trackball in the center of the arcade cabinet. Your foot was over that.
Well, personally, I'm going to make my ruling on why are you guys playing video games in the back instead of, poker and shooting heroin. Because, that's what should be being done. You're both soft. And,
Are
what?
they soft or are they soft?
No, they're soft. So I'm going to rule that you're both at fault. And you have to solve this with another game of Street Fighter where Ethan has to sit in Jody's lap.
Never playing Street Fighter again.
So I win by default, is what I hear.
There is no winning here.
Yeah.
Neither one of us have won
Everybody
anything.
just lost. We all lost.
Whoever was listening lost 10 minutes of their life.
Yeah.
So saith Wrestler's Court.
Bow
Yeah.
down, bow, bow, bow down, bow. Bow down, bow. So that's what Ethan did 2 weeks ago, but also this week somehow. There you go.
Nah, I'll let that be my
Time
this
is a
week.
flat
I'll let that be
circle.
by this week. I did nothing.
Sir, we've spent 30 minutes talking about what everybody else has been doing. Go ahead and tell us what you've been doing.
Nothing.
Yeah, you don't have to get you don't have to be less than us.
Yeah,
Like,
Mike doesn't have to get home anytime soon. So his wife can talk shit about him not calling poutine what it's supposed to be. What? No. I call her wife, fiance. One day wife.
Close enough.
That's because that's what fiance means, one day wife.
Yeah.
ODW. She's your ODW.
Oh baby, I like it raw.
Wow.
Oh gosh.
Thank you, Enzo.
So, Ethan, what have you been up to?
Nothing. I did get one video game this past week. Digimon Survive. It is. It was supposed to release 3 years ago, but then the whole pandemic happened, and a lot of pushbacks have been happening, and so it finally released this past Friday, and I really like it. It has a spin on the whole Digimon approach, because the whole premise is kids would go into like this alternate dimension or alternate world where the land is filled with digital creatures, and
in this one, the Digimon sell you crack.
And
Sorry,
but with
This honestly sounds like a coping mechanism for children stuck in shipping containers.
This is like the last 5 minutes has just been references to like drug use and fucking crack, Digimon sitting in people's laps,
Poutine.
fries with toppings.
oh man, I'm sorry. I'm going to stop interrupting.
We're 41 minutes into this podcast, and we haven't even brought up the main topic.
I knew that was going to happen with all of us here.
Yeah,
So, Ethan, tell us more about your Digimon knockoff.
yeah.
it has a weird spin on it, because the whole game is premised in the main island of Japan. Group of kids go to a summer school sort of thing, and they find themselves in an old shrine that worships the old gods, old demons, and it talks about people making sacrifices to these demons so the world doesn't fall out of order. And all of a sudden, an earthquake hits, and all the children fall into it. And they wake up in a world that's similar to theirs, but some things are a little off. Like all of a sudden, there's a radio tower in the middle of the woods. There's the Golden Gate Bridge in between a valley or something like that. And they don't refer to Digimon as Digimon. They just refer to them as monsters, like they're their own entity. So it has a little spin off on it that I'm kind of digging. I've been playing a little bit of it, so I'm a little excited to play some more of it. But other than that, nothing.
Oh, sounds cool.
For those of you that have kept with us, thank you for listening. And if you want more excitement from the formerly 4, now 6 of us, you can find us at
Our new 2 permanent members to Travelers on the Omnibus.
Yeah, you didn't even like bring that up for a vote or anything.
Yeah, they're regulars at this point.
This is literally the first time I've been on this podcast.
You've been mentioned.
You've been with us in spirit.
There's a signature on the contract. But it doesn't say Michael Skinner. It says Michael Hill.
As you were.
You can find us at many other listening devices such as Spotify, Anchor, Google Podcasts, and Apple Podcasts. And
What are they listening to you on now?
What-
You said other listening devices. Are they just listening?
Yeah, maybe they have.
Are you on FM
Maybe
radio?
they're picking up magical signals. Michael, get off of us.
We're available on Russian satellite, Lithuanian satellite.
We're available on the fillings in your teeth.
Get a roll of aluminum foil.
Ham
Wrap it
Brady
into
was just
in a
a
helmet.
coat
Put it on your
hanger
head.
Wrap a coat hanger in aluminum foil. Stab it in the back of your television. If you didn't die, congratulations. You now have access to Travelers on the Omnibus.
Stand out in the storm while it's lightning.
With an umbrella.
Hold on. Out of an abundance of caution, please do not
do none of
wrap
these things.
Wrap a wire hanger in tinfoil and then stab it into your television. Do not do that.
Or take it out into lightning.
Yeah,
Or don't take it out of the
either.
lightning.
That's probably going to be bad
or
too.
to the shopping mart. Not so much for you dying. It's just gonna be weird.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird for everybody dealing with you at Winn
Nobody's
Dixie.
going to want to mess with you. Even the homeless guy.
The comments that you've heard so far on this podcast do not represent the thoughts and actions and beliefs of Whiskey and Wrestling Podcast.
except fries with toppings.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's just an undeniable
That's a given.
truth of
That's
the
a given.
universe.
those
So-
facts stick. And if you want to give us more facts and opinions, you can email us at travelersontheomnibus.com at gmail.com.
Yeah, at gmail.com. Good job.
More facts and opinions.
Yeah, because that's what they give us.
They give us opinions.
That's the whole reason we have a podcast, is to give opinions mostly, but sometimes facts.
Yeah. We should probably jump into the main topic, I think.
Should we? I don't know. I think we should keep going.
Yeah, we got an
Michael
hour more
will turn
riffing.
into a pumpkin.
We could just round up this bullshit for another 10 minutes and make it a whole hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Michael's already regretting
Oh,
this
yeah.
shit.
Fellow listeners, it is the 5th episode.
From the last fifth episode.
From the last 5th episode. This is the Chalkboard.
It is the fifth son of the fifth son.
Hello, listeners. This is the 20th episode of Travelers on the Omnibus.
The very 20th episode of Travelers
Yes.
on the Omnibus.
Yes.
This week we are talking about our top 5 songs/musical pieces. Since we're
Oh, y'all all did songs? I just did musical pieces.
Hell
I didn't know
yeah.
we could do both.
Hell
that's why
yeah.
the slash is there.
That's
It's
a
fine.
lie. I actually
Everything-
did just songs.
I was told songs.
Yeah, it's just songs.
Yeah.
You're gonna like hit us with the Rachmaninoff 3, and I'm gonna be like, you motherfucker.
I have caveats to all my selections.
There is not any John Williams on my list.
But you could have John Williams on your list, though.
Good, yes. Let's
Just not like a complete work, you know.
Let's start with our guests. Michael, go ahead and start us off.
Yeah, since you might have to leave
you're
early.
Making me go first.
Yes, I am.
Yes, he has that kind of power.
Oh, actually, hold on real quick. But speaking of powers, so I had the bullet last time. I have the power and the authority to give one magic bullet to somebody at this table because Whiskey and Westing are guests and not regulars. I will not be providing them with that. I will also not be providing myself with the bullet because I think 2 shots in a row is fucking unfair. Ethan is also not getting a bullet because he's hosting, and I don't want to put that area of responsibility on him because he's already taking too much on his broad shoulders. See the 45-minute diatribe that came before this. Michael Hill, go
All
for
right.
it.
So,
Welcome to hosting the show again, Ethan.
okay. So, my list, one, I need to lead off with the caveat of I don't have this super amazing relationship with music, and coming up with a top 5 for me was very hard. I just enjoy listening to music. I honestly, genre, artist generally doesn't matter to me. There's people I don't like, not because they're untalented or they can't sing, but I just don't like the tone of their voice. Mm-hmm. So my number 5 song is one I've been listening to a lot lately. It's an instrumental. It is Classical Gas by Glenn Campbell. It's actually written by Mason Williams, but Classical Gas has performed by Glenn Campbell. Beautiful piece. This one's probably going to get me some shit, but
All of mine are going to give me shit, so don't worry about
Hold
it.
on. Yes, real quick. We're gonna let everybody speak in silence. If you want to be self-deprecating, that's fine. When we get time to unload on you is during the discussion period.
my number 4 is Put Your Lights On by Santana featuring Everlast. Number 3 is Eminem featuring Nate Dogg, Till I Collapse. My number 2 song is one of my favorite just songs of all time. I find myself singing this at all times of the year, even though it is definitely a Christmas song. And I didn't put an artist with this one because there's so many great versions of it. It's Oh Holy Night. And then my number 1 favorite song, the first one that popped in my head when I was like, okay, what would I say my favorite song is One by Metallica.
All righty. So to recap from top to bottom, we have 1 by Metallica. Number 2, Oh Holy Night, various artists. Number 3, Till I Collapse, Eminem featuring Nate Dogg. Number 4, Put Your Lights On, Santana featuring. Would you call that a feature for that, or that Everlast with?
I mean, as I understand the song, Everlast actually wrote it,
Okay.
but Santana kind of like bought it and recorded it.
Well, I mean, and
You know,
it is,
and then Everlast.
it is one of
sang
the best
entire
guitars
song.
of all time. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we have Put Your Lights On, Santana featuring Everlast, and number 5, Classical Gas by Glenn Campbell. Who's next, Ethan?
Around the table, let's go with Jason.
All right. So, my number 5, Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. My number 4, Suspicious Minds by Elvis. My number 3, Where Did You Sleep Last Night? Nirvana, the unplugged version. My number 2, The Decline by NoFX. And my number 1, Rose Tattoo by the Dropkick Murphys.
You've talked so fast that the boy Ethan cannot write them down. So he literally forgot your number 2.
Was The Decline by NoFX.
NOFX, because you spelled Folsom Prison wrong. No, Jason, look at this. Look at this. FULLSOME.
Sure.
But yeah. So we have Rose Tattoo by, now I forgot it, goddamn, by Dropkick Murphys. I should have known that. Number 2, NoFX. NoFX. What is
The Decline.
The Decline. That looks like Disleek. Number 3, Where Did You Sleep Last Night from Nirvana's Unplugged album. Number 4, Suspicious Mind by Elvis. Number 5, Folsom Prison Blues by Johnny Cash. Now you're just being a fuck. He just spelled. He just created a new name, Noah, Noah, Fex, Fecks.
You're saying a name. I'm trying to write it down to where I know where it says.
It's
NOFX.
It's all letters.
You actually made it harder on yourself.
Yeah, you did, man. Yeah. It's okay. We believe in you.
Do we?
None of us stopped him from hosting. Just saying. Yeah, exactly. Ethan, who's next?
Brady, let's go.
All right. So our guests were really quick with theirs. I'm going to pontificate a little bit more. This was actually.
I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, you can talk. You want to go back and talk? I can let you talk.
I mean, I'll just talk afterwards.
Cool. So as soon when we were trying to figure out what we were going to do for this chalkboard, we decided on music, and we couldn't really decide if we were going to do artists or songs or albums or whatever the fuck. And almost as soon as Jay said we're going to do songs, I was like, fuck. Because even though I can get a lot of my favorite things in my head, I've never really been able to nail down favorite songs or what are my top 5 favorite songs. I can tell you my favorite movie. I can tell you my favorite author or book or whatever. This one's is always hard. So I was like, well, maybe I can just take whatever my favorite bands are and just my favorite songs of theirs. But even that's hard because there's going to be a band. There's not going to be my favorite band on this list because it's very hard for me to decide what of their songs is my favorite song. So that's not going to be on there. So all that to just say this is going to be probably my most arbitrary list, the ranking and what's on it. Ask me 2, 3, 4 months from now, and it might be totally different. I might have some of the same artists, but I will have different things on there. I also want to say, like, I have a wide range in the music that I like. Most of this is going to be like rock because that's just what I listen to the most. But there are other songs that I do like. But yeah, this was a hard fucking list for me to make. So some of this is a little bit arbitrary, but these are all songs that I really do love. So the first one is The Cool by Lupe Fiasco. I wanted to get something on here that's hip hop or rap because I do love that genre. And Lupe Fiasco is probably my favorite hip hop artist. His lyricism is very good. He tells good stories. His lyrics are always deep. A lot of times you have to actually look up the meaning of what he's saying before you really get it. This is a song that is telling a story of someone of a gangster basically that has been shot and comes back to life while buried in his casket, and him digging his way up. Like the lyrics, it starts, he came back in the same suit that he was buried in, similar to the one his grandfather was married in. Yes, he was still fresh to death, bling 2 earrings, a chain laying on his chest. He still had it because they couldn't find it, and the bullets from his enemies set like 2 inches behind it. So he doesn't even realize that he even died, but he gets up, and the first thing that he decides to do is to go back to his corner to get his game back on. It's a very interesting song. The imagery is very, very good in it. The next one is another one of my absolute favorite songs by one of my favorite bands, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. This is a very classic song. Fuck you, Holder.
He didn't say anything.
He gave me a look.
I did.
We're not supposed to critique while they're going.
This is one of my favorite songs from Rumors, one of my favorite albums. I think it's a great album. I know that there are several people on this panel that will disagree, but just like the back and forth with the lines and the chorus is one of my favorite things. You know, if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I love that lyric. It's a beautiful lyric. But yeah, that's one of my favorite songs ever. The next one is Little Wing by Jimi Hendrix. Jimi Hendrix oftentimes is known for his guitar solos and his lead guitar, but this actually shows that he's actually really underrated with his rhythm guitar. The entire thing is beautiful. The some of the imagery with this one's also very beautiful. Like the second verse is, when I'm sad, she comes to me with 1,000 smiles. She gives to me free. It's all right. She said, it's all right. Take anything you want from me. That's a beautiful line there. And the guitar work is very beautiful. Really great drumming with it. But yeah, this is one of the more underrated songs, I think, of his. So, to my second song. So, Tool is one of my favorite bands of all time. I knew I had to have a Tool song on there. This was one of the ones that I really, I love several of their songs, and you know, so I tried to figure out which one of these do I like, because I feel very strongly about these. There was a point in time where I would literally like listen to an entire Tool album, take that CD out, put another Tool album in, and just listen to that all the way through. And I did that for like a long time ago. Ethan, CDs or these little flat plastic discs that we used to put music on, and you could only fit so much music on. You didn't have like unlimited music. Well, nowadays we just, you know, listen through it through the air. So there's that. So,
momentary pause. He's responding to Brady with written word, and they're gonna let the written. It'll be a secret because we don't have a filming of this podcast.
Yeah.
And let's not worry the boy about cassette tapes right now.
Yeah, we don't want to break.
We
them.
mentioned 8 tracks last week. Again, no interruptions.
This is also true. This is definitely one that I will probably always have a Tool song in my top 5, but I don't know which one. It all depends. But so when it comes to Tool, my favorite Tool album is Lateralis, and I ended up choosing the actual name. The name track of that is Lateralus. So Lateralis is a really cool song. The basis of the song is about the idea of a spiral, and we usually think of a spiral as a negative thing, like a downward spiral. But if you think about spiraling in another way of constantly growing and reaching out, a spiral constantly gets bigger. Because everything in the song is based on the Fibonacci sequence. There's like nerdy math shit in this. The beat, and then also like the verses go with the Fibonacci sequence, which if you put that onto a graph, it makes a spiral. But yeah, the one of the parts of this song that I really love is with my feet upon the ground, I lose myself between the sound. That's that part of that song, that breakdown at the end, towards the end there, is very, very good. So that leaves my number 1. So my number 1 is a song called "The Good Left Undone" by Rise Against. Rise Against is one of my favorite bands. Rise Against basically have 2 kinds of songs. Basically, you have like protest and or revolution or rebellion songs saying that something's wrong with the world and we need to fix it.
That's called punk music.
Yes, they are like a post-punk, I guess, would be what you would say. Or there's songs about a relationship, usually about like a deteriorating relationship. Their most famous song, "Savior," is like this. And "The Good Left Undone" is a song about this. It's basically uses the imagery to talk about the idea of sometimes to let something or someone flourish, you have to let them go, even though you want it very badly. It uses the imagery of finding a flower. You know, the verse starts out, the song starts out, "In a field where nothing grew but weeds, I found a flower at my feet." And it talks about him picking up the flower, but then the flower starts to die. So he realizes that he has to let the flower go for it to actually be beautiful. And the imagery in the song is like very, very beautiful to me. And it makes me feel things. So that's why I chose it as my number 1. 2 months down the road, will it be my number 1? I don't fucking know, because I have a problem with choosing like what my favorite song is. So that's my 5.
Brady, thank you very much. Ethan, who's next?
Let's go with Jody.
With me, well, I have to agree with Brady on, my tastes are very wide and varied. I had a very little past history here. I had a very sheltered childhood. My parents were like uber religious, so I had to sneak to listen to music. Prince was one of the first pop things I ever listened to, but he's not on this list. So my number 5 is actually "The Tide Is High" by Blondie. It's a ska song. In a library of a band that was once a punk band that went disco, that tried to go back to their roots, but it didn't really work out. I really love Deborah Harry's vocals in that. That song is very important to me on a personal level, so I really enjoy "The Tide Is High." That's my number 5. My number 4 is from a band from Canada. Skinny Puppy. It's called Assimilate. They were one of the very first modern industrial bands before Nine Inch Nails. A lot of people don't know that Nine Inch Nails actually came out in 1985. They came out before then. Assimilate is one of their best songs. These are songs I don't always go back to, but there's definitely like my top. If I had to like squeeze in anything, that would be number 4. I'm going to take a page out of Holder's book, and number 3 is Linoleum by NoFX. That's one of my favorite NoFX songs from Punk and Drublic, my bad. That's the album that's on. NoFX is the precursors to what pop punk would become. They influenced Blink-182 and several other bands like MXPX and so forth and so on. But they were the grandfathers of that style of music. Actually, the Descendants actually did that first, but NoFX made it popular. My number 2 is Closer by Nine Inch Nails, another industrial song. Big fan of that genre of music. And my number 1 favorite song of all time, no joke, is the Queen of the Night aria from Mozart's Magic Flute. That aria is so difficult. If you've ever seen the aria performed by the alien in Fifth Element, that's what it's based off of.
Oh, okay.
And the talent that is required to hit all those octaves and the timing that is required of the person singing it, the percentage of operatic singers that can actually achieve that is very small, especially nowadays. It's just an impressive piece.
Very nice. Thank you, Jody. Ethan, what's up?
Let's go with yourself, Jay.
All right, here we go. So, the common theme running through my 5 are strong openings and memorable lines, like one set of memorable lines from a song. So, my number 5 is "Sick of Drugs" by the Wild Hearts. I first got introduced to this song by, of all things, to bring in our folks from Whiskey and Wrestling, from Botchamania. This was the song that Matthew used in the re-airing of the Sting Jeff Hardy match. You know which one I'm talking about. But it has a very great guitar solo opening that goes into the entire band just screaming, "Oh!" It's such great. My favorite line from there is, "How can you stay when you're 16 million miles away? How can you fly when you're home free?" That song is just so much fun from start to finish. I love every single bit of it. My number 4, we're going to go with Motown on this one, and it is going to be "Heard It Through the Grapevine" by Marvin Gaye. If you want to talk about a song that opens up great and then goes straight into the singer's great vocals, just that bass line, dun, 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 and it builds, and then finally you get, "Ooh, I bet you wonder how I knew." Sorry, Mr. McGay. Apologize for reckoning that. But my favorite line from that one is, "People say believe half of what you see and none of what you hear." Brother Marvin was preaching on that one, so absolutely. My number 3, I believe this is the second time Metallica is going to be mentioned, and it's going to be a second separate song. It's going to be Enter Sandman. If you want to talk about, like, one has a very great opening. I think also Master of Puppets, which is more culturally like just in the now right now. Like you have that great opening from there. But to me, Enter Sandman is the perfect opening from them. It's just, it starts out very small. Like it starts rhythm and then you get into their thrash and it's absolutely great. The entire prayer, "Now I lay me down to sleep, I pray the Lord my soul to keep," with both the child and with James Hetfield repeating that. I think it's just absolutely amazing. Number 2 is, I think, definitely for me, it's the most recent song, but I don't know if it's the most recent song on the entirety of the chart, but that's going to be "Blinding Lights" by The Weeknd. That song saved me through the entire pandemic, like the heavy part of the pandemic. Of all things, I found out about it thanks to WrestleMania, because it was one of the songs for the pandemic WrestleMania. When I first heard it, I thought it was just straight out of the 80s, and I found out, no, this was produced in late 2019 and released in 2020. God, this song is great. Oh my God, just the opening of it, the entire just like speed of everything about it is pitch fucking perfect. If I had to pick one line out of everything out of there, and it's hard to because he has so many great ones there, but I think I've been on my own for long enough. Can you show me how to love, baby? Like both kind of this longing, but also this tinge of horniness, if you can believe that. The Weeknd kind of has that running through a lot of his more recent songs. So that was my number 2. And as Ethan had already written on there, my number 1 of all time, this is no secret if you've been with us for any amount of time, it is Bat Out of Hell, from Bat Out of Hell, written by Jim Steinman, performed by Meatloaf. 7 minutes of nonstop rock opera. The opening is bombastic. The song is powerful. My favorite line from that whole thing is, baby, you're the only thing in this whole world that's pure and good and right. Gentlemen, if you ever hear me say that to a woman, you know that I'm about to ask her to marry me. I'm just going to say that right now. So that is my top 5.
So with my top 5, I like everyone else here, I pretty much love all genres of music, whether it be rap, rock, country. The premise I went with this is, I already told Jay this, if I was stranded on a desert island and I could only pick 5 songs to listen to for the rest of my life. Number 5 is Stay With Me by Sam Smith. It's not one of the most, it's a really beautiful song to listen to. It's about him in a one night stand with a lady, and he just wants to know what love is, and the way that he pours his soul into the song. I sing it every single time it comes over the radio at work, and I love it. So Stay With Me by Sam Smith. Number 4 is Still Counting by Volbeat. It is one of the songs that I love listening to with my father on many road trips. Just the drummer, the bass drum, whenever it hits, that guitar riff at the beginning and how it leads into the heavy bass. Also, the singer's voice is very mesmerizing. It's very deep, I could listen to that forever. I love it. Number 3 is Mockingbird by Eminem. Like with what, I don't know if anyone's mentioned it, but whenever Brady was saying how Lupe Fiasco he tells a story with a song, this is Eminem having a conversation with his daughters over this song. And it's like, I know everything's messed up, but I'm here to hopefully make it all better for you. I'm trying to give you something that I never had growing up. It's one of the few songs where I prefer Mockingbird over like Till I Collapse or Not Afraid or 8 Mile even. It's a very toss-up between my 1 and 2 slot. Number 2 is going to be Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin. Don't be surprised.
Bravo.
Okay.
My apologies for the interruption, but before you got here, there was a bet, and I said that I'm betting there's going to be at least one song from before the 2000s that's going to be on your list, and everyone said no. So I just won some money. Thank you very much.
I'm just trying to figure out how we've gotten 6 people on this list before we got any Zeppelin on here. How did we let that happen, gentlemen?
In the discussion.
Discussion, yes. It is the most beautiful guitar chord that I believe has ever existed. The forbidden chord, as a lot of people call it. Just the way the singer just like mellows out to the chords, and then unfortunately you have to wait like 5 minutes before the drums kick in, but still very beautiful.
Patience, my young Padawan.
Patience, yes. Nyangu Star would have a heart attack before he could play the song.
Oh no, Nyango Star knows when to fucking play the drums. Don't you disparage Nyango Star.
Yeah, Stairway to Heaven, my number 2. My number 3 is...
You mean number 1?
My number 1.
Sorry, that was my fault. I got you off. No, not like that.
Wow.
Not like that's going to have an echo in the edit. I'm saying this now to remind myself.
Damn it.
This, I didn't think this was
kind of podcast.
Yeah,
Yes, you did.
I think we should leave.
You all knew exactly what you were getting into.
My number 1 is going to be Simple Man. Before you write the artist, my grandfather's favorite song was Simple Man by Leonard Skinner. And every single time I went over to visit him, he would always have it playing, always, all the time, throughout the day, throughout the night. And he unfortunately passed away. I don't like all the shakes that all of y'all are making.
Keep going.
And,
Finish.
And
Ethan, I'm being sincere right now.
And Shinedown had released an acoustic version of Simple Man. And I see the
No. I'm
believing,
fucking being sincere. God damn it.
but I absolutely love the acoustic version. The acoustic version, it's very rare for me to like unplugged songs. I know Nirvana did an unplugged album, but Shinedown, this is the only acoustics that they've released to my knowledge, and I think they've did it beautifully, and it's one of those things that I'll keep with myself. And so yeah, Simple Man. So discussion time.
Hold on, I got to pour salt in my eyes.
I would just like to say one thing very quickly.
Okay.
With the exception of your choice of who sings that number one song, I gotta be honest, man, your list ain't bad.
It's not bad. Although
I feel like I'm still disappointing. Some of y'all.
although let me bring you down to earth for one
For our
second.
Patreon subscribers, you can hear the beating of Ethan after this episode.
I want to break your heart for a second. Stay With Me is not about a girl. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's still a beautiful song.
It is a beautiful song.
You're allowed to participate to what's the fucking word? To interpret a song as however you like.
That is true. That is true.
I'm going to come to your defense here.
Okay.
Simple Man, the acoustic version by Shinedown, is an absolute masterpiece. I do not think it is as good as Leonard Skinner, but that is an absolute masterpiece. And I don't think that y'all give Shinedown its due respect. Because y'all
I give it exactly as much respect as it deserves.
I'm not gonna be the only one beaten tonight.
All I'm going to say is we listened to one album by one band.
Stay tuned for this Sunday's Whiskey and Wrestling, where it will just be me.
I will say,
Good, I
Ethan,
can save a bunch of money.
except for your last song, because I think I know "Stay With Me." I'm not sure, but I like your choices in general. Like 2, 3, and 4, I like different songs better by them, but I can see these are not bad choices.
Yeah, I like Heaven Nor Hell by Volbeat is probably my favorite Volbeat song.
Black Rose.
Black Rose is also very good.
Damn, what's it? I can't. There's a couple of songs of theirs that I like better, but I don't listen to a whole lot of.
Like,
Volbeat.
still counting Heaven or Hell and Black Rose on my top 3.
Yeah, I can't remember the songs. I'm sorry, but. And I like Stairway, but there are other Led Zeppelin. Led Zeppelin's like my favorite, like older band.
Yeah, I like Dazed and Confused more.
But I just don't like. I kind of got burnt out of them a while back, so I don't listen to them quite as much as I used to.
I get burnt out on a lot of music.
I got burnt out on classic rock a long time ago because I would just listen to it over and over and over again.
Same.
Stairway is kind of that
overly played.
It is like I'm gonna. Stairway is one of the first things that anybody learns how to play on the guitar. If you pick up a guitar, that intro is one of the first things you learn, right? I refuse to gatekeep music.
Yeah,
in the sense of, if that's the only song you like by them, and that said, Stairway is that, if it can get you into listening to more stuff.
I would definitely say listen to the rest of Led Zeppelin 4. That is a phenomenal album. That is
absolutely
a transcendent album, I think.
Very good stuff there.
But yeah, it's just like there are other Led Zeppelin songs that I like a little bit better, but Stairway is good. Stairway has a lot of emotion and there's a lot to pick apart in there, and like watching it. If you ever can find a live version, I have like a Led Zeppelin DVD of like a whole bunch of their performances. And it's really good seeing them perform that live.
Brady did 2 things that I knew he would mention 2 bands that I hate, but he also mentioned the one song from the band that I like. I don't like Tool. I don't like Fleetwood Mac. That being said, yeah, The Chain is their best song, period. I love that song. And I think it's one of the reasons why I knew it was going to be on there, because I think you and I have talked about that before. Like we were talking like loosely about just the Guardians movie or Guardians 2. And that came up, and yeah, it's like, I knew Tool was going to be up there. I expected more Coheed.
Yeah, that the problem that I have with that is I have a hard time. I kind of left it my thing. I didn't want to put like more than one because it probably would have honestly just been Rise Against songs, Tool songs, and Coheed and Cambria songs, but I kind of limited it, and I have a really hard time. Like, I can tell you on this album, this is my favorite Coheed and Cambria song. On this album, this is my favorite Coheed and Cambria song, but I cannot. I haven't been able to crystallize what my favorite Coheed and Cambria song of all time is. I have a very hard time with that.
Is it kind of a wealth beyond avarice? Like, you have so many good
and it's
choices
also
for them that you
I've
can't
seen
pick
them
one out?
live several times, so I know like like they have a song called "In Keeping Secrets of Silent Earth," and the crowd, like being in the crowd while this song is singing and having the crowd yell out parts and do chanting parts is like so powerful. But then I think of how much I just love this part, you know, the opening of a song called "No World for Tomorrow," where it just hits you and starts very hard. And so like I was just like, I can't put anything on there. Like, I can't. So that's my decision making with that.
Also, between me, Jason, and Brady, I was expecting at least one mention of Ghost.
I thought about that.
It was close for me with 5 between "Sick of Drugs" and "Dance Macabre."
Dance Macabre's good.
I came very close to a Ghost song instead of Elvis. Problem is, the Elvis song that I have on mine is, I really like that song, but I like the memories that song brings.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
And for me personally, I love Ghost, but I'm new to Ghost, so it wouldn't be a top 5 for me.
You know, Ghost probably would have been in one of my top 5s if they had crossed my mind, and that's my problem with a list like this. Is what mood am I in? Because that's going to determine what songs end up on there. But Cirrus, I love Cirrus.
Yeah.
You know,
Just a peek behind the curtain. This was another one where because last time Jason was on our top 5 authors, and then he's now on this one along with Michael for top 5 songs. They had less time to think about this than anybody else.
Because I'll be honest, like looking at my top 5 right now, there's one song that I would probably change.
Oh yeah.
Thinking about it a little more. Mm-hmm. But then I would put that one up there, and then I would probably change it right back.
Right.
Yeah. Like I would change Folsom Prison Blues to Sunday Morning Coming Down.
Okay.
By Johnny Cash. Yeah. Or I could also change it to Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley.
Buckley, yeah,
But
that's
then
great.
thinking about that, I'd be like, no, let's put it back to Folsom Prison. You know, that one can easily change.
Well, like I almost had For Elise on there because that's probably of classical music. That's probably
that's
my favorite song. Beethoven's like my favorite like classical composer.
I could have gone real deep on y'all with like Talus, the motet for 40 voices. Which is amazing, but
there you go. This one was a harder one. For me, it was the first 4 were kind of easy. Like, those are kind of lively. But once it got to 5, there's like
5 was very tough.
There's like 5 or 6 good songs that I could put there. It just, the opening for "Sick of Drugs" is what really kind of set it up for me.
Right.
I'm glad I got to see another person put NoFX on the board.
Yep. There you go.
Oh, we're talking about my
and in
stuff.
person, learn how to spell NoFX. This was a very important thing for us tonight. Yes.
now, I know we have a couple of crossover artists. Did we have any crossover songs on this
Not a
list?
single one.
No.
No, we actually this was a lot wider range than our authors one, and I figured this was going to be because we have kind of similar musical
That's
tastes.
why
but
our
we dig
number
into
one
like
all-time song is Neil Gaiman.
yes,
We're just making it easier on ourselves.
yes.
Like, there's a lot of stuff on Jody's list. I like all of those bands. Hearing somebody mention Skinny Puppy was like, all right, cool. I'm on board. Nine Inch Nails, of course.
Right. The Nine Inch Nails song could have been like 20 different Nine Inch Nails songs.
Yeah, I tend to stay away from Closer for the simple fact that it got played out
It did, but I haven't listened to it in so long that I remember like enjoying it a lot.
That's probably fair. Like,
I would probably like you with speaking of that the Johnny Cash, I could exchange it for Terrible Lie or Down in It. Actually, that album specifically had
Pretty Hate Machine is one of the best albums.
Pretty Hate Machine is really good.
Or hell, like, just to go like his last big song, "Hurt." Like,
Hurt was really good. If I was gonna pick,
honestly though,
I would take the Johnny Cash version of Hurt.
Johnny Cash owns that song.
Yeah, I would take the Johnny Cash version of Hurt.
He completely Jimi Hendrix.
I was thinking
all along the Watchtower is Jimmy's song. I don't care that Bob Dylan wrote it.
Right,
that's Jimmy's song. Like, same thing with "Hurt." That's
the same thing with Johnny Cash and June's song "It Ain't Me, Babe." That's another Bob Dylan song, but I mean they made that song.
Bob Dylan was very good at writing songs and then having basically laying the foundation with a song and then having somebody cover it.
Right.
I do love. I love Bob.
Springsteen is a lot like that.
I love Bob Dylan, but like, there's only a couple songs of his where I would
Right.
take like the original over the like.
No,
to me,
like,
like Knocking on Heaven's Door. I like his version.
Oh, I do
better,
too.
but-
I do
Knocking
too.
takes
Than any of the other people's versions.
Yeah. Springsteen wrote "Blinded by the Light," which Manfred Mann took that and made that their song. Because the Night by Patti Smith, and later covered on the 10,000 Maniacs. I was about to say Unwired. I'm losing my goddamn mind.
Unplugged.
Unplugged. I'm losing my. I'm stupid today, but yeah, when 10,000 Maniacs did that for Unplugged, Natalie Merchant just absolutely
Yeah, that
knocked that out of the
10
park.
man, MTV Unplugged in general was like the greatest thing ever. LL Cool J had awesome stuff on it. Nirvana,
Those albums were those shows were so
they were
fantastic.
and
They were-
energy. Most of the
Yeah,
bands had
like-
so much
yeah,
energy.
I liked the of course the Nirvana one to me is the best.
It's really,
Yeah.
it really is.
That whole
Well, it's because
album,
like there was like 3 songs on there that were actually even
Yeah.
their songs. Like it was
Well,
mostly
Man Who
obscure
Sold the
cover.
World
exactly
was amazing.
and they did that because fuck the record producer guys.
Right.
They wanted them
Yeah.
to come out and do all their,
It can be
hits.
argued that Unplugged is their best album.
Record producers, Viacom,
Yeah.
MTV, like
Yeah,
it's like
But
they
even-
did what they
just,
wanted
just
to
give
do.
us "Smells
is-
Like Teen Spirit" played
Yeah.
5 times in
But
5
even
different
with
ways.
that, like
No, we're gonna do. Who is it? The Meat Puppets.
Right.
Like
Yeah,
that's-
they did a Meat
we're-
Puppet song.
We're gonna do
Yeah.
one of their songs.
Right.
But the thing is, like that album was great. But even the Pearl Jam one,
Pearl
Oh,
Jam's
yeah.
Alice in
great.
Chains,
The
Stone
Alice-
Temple Pilots
The
did
Alice in
one.
Chains, the like one that almost made it was. I go back and forth. I don't know which one I like. If I like the unplugged version or the album version better, but Nutshell by Alice in Chains, that's one of my favorite songs. That was very close to making it.
Right.
There was this was so
It
fucking
was.
hard.
Yeah.
It was.
I basically just had to give up and be kind of arbitrary about things with mine. Like it was,
I mean, you want to talk about Unplugged, then throw Layla in there
yeah.
for
Yeah.
Eric Clapton.
Eric
Yeah.
Clapton's
He completely
Unplugged.
rewrote the song.
Yeah.
And it's better than the original in my
Yeah, it
opinion.
is.
I might have to listen to it now.
Then we
Yeah.
got Michael with the Christmas song over there.
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, I hate to say this, or maybe I like this. Well, I don't know. Having been in retail for as long as I have, any mention of Christmas songs just makes me twitch. I can't anymore.
Yeah, working
I mean,
in.
that is-
I've been away from retail long enough that it's not as bad for me.
But I had to include that one on my list,
Mm-hmm.
and it's because that song literally plays in my head year round. I'm singing it to myself,
But only the
humming it to
Cartman
myself.
version.
Yeah, yeah. Oh Holy Night's a really fucking good Christmas song.
It's one of those. I don't care that it's a Christmas song.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care that it's a religious song. It's in my head.
Yeah,
Talk
it's
about my
still a
favorite
good
list.
good song.
It's got to be on there.
Mm-hmm.
It's got to be on there. So,
Yeah,
but yeah, it was hard for me to come up with this list.
Oh, yeah.
I had "Where'd You Sleep Last Night" is an honorable mention.
yeah. That's a great.
I thought about taking one of these off and throwing that.
There
in
were
there.
several things on that unplugged list. Shit, when it comes like there was a lot of grunge stuff that I was thinking about. Soundgarden, Outshine, Spoon Man, Fell on Black Days.
Hell, Jesus Christ posed. Good Lord.
Yeah, when it comes to Pearl Jam, Corduroy for me is up there. Like that's my favorite song of
Yellow
theirs.
Ledbetter, Daughter.
Yeah.
There's a lot of artists I love that are not on any of these.
Like we didn't put any like
There's
Beatles.
There's no
Rolling
Bowie.
Stones.
There's no Bowie. There's no Prince.
Yeah.
There's no
There's no Bowie, no Beatles, no Prince, no Rolling Stones,
no U2.
no U2.
No, you two.
Oh, that's
Thank,
fair.
thank God.
My number street where the streets have no name almost got in there too.
You can
was
like
a
them,
problem.
but I hate them. Fuck.
So
That's
I do.
You want to talk about openings though, like that opens the Joshua Tree and it just builds up to like where he goes, "I want to run." Like I love that song.
I will always and forever hate them for putting their album on my iPod. Without
Oh
my
yeah, because they
permission.
autoed. Yeah.
I just hate him because Bono's a twat.
So
What about the Edge?
I do.
I
wanna say
fucking
one
hate
thing.
him too.
But
do
he's
wanna say
named
one
after a
thing.
pizza.
You fucking pretentious motherfucker.
You chatty Kathy bitch, whatever the fuck it was.
The one thing that I do like about this is looking at the board. We pretty much have almost every genre up there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
There's rap, there's rock, there's country, There's punk.
There's not much
There's
pop.
Christmas music.
There's not much pop.
There is
Yeah.
pop.
There
though.
is pop,
Sam
though.
Smith is pop.
Sam
yeah.
Smith,
There's pop
Oh
that I
yeah,
like.
by the
there's not
Weeknd.
much.
There's
yeah.
pop that I will listen
I would
to,
say
but I
Lupe
don't like.
Fiasco is pop rap. I mean that in
Right.
as
That
much
is
respect as I can.
not true.
He's one of the best rappers in the world.
Yes, but he's not
That ain't
pop
pop.
rap.
Pop.
Like,
Pop
he
is its-
literally-
Pop may stand for popular, but it is.
He had
It is a genre of
he had
music,
one
yeah.
pop album, and that was Lasers, and he did that to get out. And then the next thing he did was Food and Liquor 2, the Great American Rap Album Part 1, and it was the most dense non-pop thing that he could possibly do.
That's like Rambo. Rambo first.
counterpoint.
Yes.
Did
That-
he just name it that way just to confuse the hell out of people?
Kind of. There was never a Great American Rap Album Part 2.
Like part 6.
So I want to like really like bring the energy down here,
Yes, that was-
and by popular opinion and by sales and downstreaming, I'm gonna read the top 10 pop songs of all time for you
Okay.
as of now.
Here we go. No, here we go.
Number 1, Uptown Funk.
Okay.
I like that song.
That's a fine song.
Number 2, Shape of You by
That-
Ed Sheeran.
That's depressing.
Number 3,
No, I kind of dig that song in
Well,
not
to
all
be
the time,
honest-
but like in doses.
To be honest, a lot of like the hate that comes from songs like that is because it's on the radio, and it's on the radio like every 10
Incessantly,
fucking
yeah.
minutes. I don't listen to the radio, so I'm not tired of it.
number
It's just
3
it's fine to me.
is Happy by Pharrell.
I love that song.
Okay.
Number
that
4
bops- I get
is
a bop song.
Levitating. I don't know who sings that.
I have no idea.
Sure.
Dua Lipa?
Dua Lipa.
Dua Lipa. Okay.
The next one is Closer by the Chainsmokers.
Sure.
This is all time. Blinding Lights.
Yeah.
Rolling in the Deep.
Okay.
Oh, I
Adele's good.
love that song.
Now that is good, but the next one is Call Me Maybe by
Yeah.
Carly Rae Jepsen.
I'm okay with that.
Carly Rae Jepsen can possibly like she kind of slaps.
Then
Like,
we finally get I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston, the Dolly Parton song.
yeah,
Bad Romance by Lady Gaga.
Whitney took that song.
She did.
she kind of did. Yeah,
That's Whitney's song.
but Dolly Parton also wrote that in a single night.
Which Lady Gaga song?
Bad Romance.
That's not what
I love that song.
I don't particularly like that song of hers. I
Counting
like other
Stars
songs of
by
hers.
One Republic.
Sure.
Cartman's still bad.
Counting Stars or Cars?
Counting Stars.
Counting Cars is by Snow Patrol.
Okay, thank you.
Huh.
Yeah, that's probably a good song. Just the Way You Are.
Swallow.
Just the Way You Are by Bruno Mars.
Okay.
We Belong Together by Mariah Carey.
Okay.
Okay.
Moves like Jagger by Maroon 5.
Okay. So a quick story
I
about
love that
this one.
song, ironically.
When this song came out, my then girlfriend did not know who Mick Jagger was.
Oh.
And she was wondering why he was why what's his name from Maroon 5 was acting weird.
Adam Levine.
So Ethan, Mick Jagger is a member of the band The Rolling Stones.
Ethan is Brady's old girlfriend?
That's kind of like how people are reacting right now with the whole, you know,
I know what CDs are.
Master of Puppets and Running Up That Hill.
Uh-huh.
And they're like, you know, talking about
rediscovering something.
talking about Metallica and Kate Bush specifically because of Stranger Things,
Right.
And how, you know, they're talking about it in terms as though these are new bands
Well, the thing
that haven't been around for
yeah.
a long time.
the thing about the Metallica thing is like, okay, sure. Metallica is like still sort of on the surface compared to Kate Bush.
Yeah,
like
Kate Bush is
nobody
the-
knows who the fuck Kate Bush is before Stranger Things come
Yeah.
out. And Running Up the Hill is like
Well,
super
to be honest,
obscure.
like I remember a while back when Billie Eilish mentioned a Metallica song she didn't know, and people like got on her case, and it's like
it was not Metallica. It was Bon Jovi.
It was something
Bon
like-
Jovi?
it was
one of those
Metallica too.
it was one of
like
those bands.
Metallica. I specifically remember.
Right.
But like honestly,
Van Halen was one.
if you don't listen to it was Van Halen. Yeah, it was Van Halen. And it's like, well, honestly, if you've never listened to rock music, you might not know who these bands are. It's okay. There were a lot of people
Right.
like tweeting at Metallica like, "Oh, you're gonna get all these fake fans," and it's like, well, no, these people are like
they're discovering your music
this
for the first time.
It is a little weird when something that's been around for seemingly forever, people are acting like it's brand new, and that can be very frustrating as an older person. But I
guess
think
if you
it's
look
still a good thing.
I think if you look at today, like how today is with like the overabundance of availability for music streaming, and there's so much going on, and you know, you've got top 40, and you have listening to whatever you want to listen to, you're gonna not discover.
there's
stuff
also a
that-
thing like if you're listening to Spotify doesn't want you to listen to new artists.
Right.
They want you to listen to new playlists.
Right.
They want to constantly push playlists onto you because that's their thing.
There's-
They don't want you to find new artists.
And I apologize for interrupting, but this is a very salient point that I need to make sure everybody's aware of at this table. I think it was on Spotify. There's this message string on Spotify, and Kanye West had featured an artist as a lot of pop R&B. It's all crossovers and features. He'd featured this artist, and the string goes, "Man, whoever this Paul McCartney cat is, Kanye West is going to start this man's whole fucking
I remember
career."
hearing about that.
So here's the thing.
What?
Like that is dumb. Like I cannot. I'm not gonna say like that's not even dumb, but yeah.
I would venture a guess that for most of us, we were introduced to a lot of these older artists by our parents.
Yeah.
The fact that they listened to them.
Not me.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm just-
me honestly, no.
Not me either.
My parents were Pentecostal.
Like,
You're right. Yeah, everybody's
I knew
different.
when I
Right,
said it
right,
because what you said earlier.
Right. But generally speaking, though, that's definitely the case for a lot of people.
And a lot of people
Ethan like talks about his dad all the time and listens to the same music.
A lot of people, they're never going to get outside of whatever it is their friend groups listen to or whatever it is that they're listening to on FM radio if they're still just picking up their songs from the radio.
Right.
So are they going to hear Metallica if they're listening all the time?
if all you've ever,
pop?
if what you like is pop and all you've ever listened to is pop, you're not. So that's why I don't like criticize it that harshly.
Right. I don't think the Dupper Brothers when they
saying
that,
shit like that dude did in that spot like that's kind of dumb and presumptuous.
It's not just that. People were following up, agreeing with him before the first person said,
I'm sure.
"Do you even know who Paul McCartney is?"
Like, yeah.
It went on for a while.
Like I will agree with Michael to a point though. That the music you're ordinarily introduced to is going to be this music that your parents listen to,
Right.
Yeah.
Or, I mean, that's going to, well, not really an or. That's going to be your first music, right? My mom and dad listened to 60s, so Elvis, Dion and the Wanderers, Four Tops, that kind of stuff, right?
The OJs.
And old school country, Johnny Cash, Willie Nelson, Merle Haggard, that kind of stuff. As I got older, that's when I started listening to the hip and with it
Yes.
music. That's where I started falling into Nirvana, Soundgarden, because I'm old. So, we're talking like the early 90s grunge wave, right? That's where I got hit with that music.
I got 99% of my music during that time period all from MTV.
So
rap,
Yeah,
metal,
to me, I was young
alternative rock.
during the 90s, so like I experienced like grunge and all that afterwards when I was more in high school. So
like that's why I say I'm not gonna, I'm kind of impressed with Ethan's list.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And I'm not gonna pick on him about anything on his list other than the fact that he put a shitty cover on there. But
unpopular opinion, I don't even like Simple Man from Leonard Skinner. I do not like that song at all.
The song's good by Leonard Skinner. It's not like their best. It's not their greatest.
I don't hate anybody for liking it, but it is one of my least favorite. Like it's like Simple Man and then like Sweet Home Alabama.
But at the same token,
Hey, Ethan, you're the host. How are we going to whittle this shit down?
but kind of at the same
This is gonna be a
token, though,
tough
real
one.
quick, it's just real quick. Ethan's dad is around our age,
Yeah.
so he's gonna pick up some of the music.
Oh, yeah.
that we listen to.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
All right.
So we asked how we're going to whittle this down.
Yeah.
Can we whittle this down?
This is a tough one.
I think so, and I would say this: Metallica's on several lists. I would make a motion for one of the Metallica songs to be on the top 5.
Okay.
They are they're a force of rock.
Yeah.
They're legendary at that point. And recency bias will also put part of that too.
Brady, what are you shooting?
Ooh. Okay.
Okay.
Let's continue to discuss
it's in the number one. It's in the number one.
while we do that.
I knew that's why he put it in the number
That's not
one.
the only reason why, but it's partly.
Yeah.
the mostly the reason why.
I don't know. Let's just keep discussing and as I think about it.
Right as we're about to put something on there, bang!
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so enter Sandman or one.
well, have we all decided that Metallica's going on the board?
I would not mind Metallica.
I
mean,
agree with
like-
Metallica going on the board.
like,
but
I
I
look
do
at it
have
this
vested
way.
interest.
I'm okay. I don't want that to necessarily set a precedent.
No.
but I'm okay with Metallica
I would say it
going on
this way,
there.
Like, yeah, I don't want to necessarily put it as a precedent because both Jody and I have no effects. But I
me
wouldn't
and Michael,
expect.
me and Michael, we have Eminem in our
Yeah.
top 5.
Yeah, and
so-
neither I like Till I Collapse. I really don't like Mockingbird. I think I'm in the minority though with that when it comes to that song.
can take
think
it or leave it.
a lot of people in my grade, like, because I was actually in high school when the Eminem show came out, and that's one of my least favorite songs on that particular album. But I know a lot of people around me liked that song. I just didn't like it.
Yeah.
I've got a quick idea if
I'm
I
the
can
same
throw it
way.
out there.
I can take or leave Mockingbird.
Can we, in order to try and like process of elimination, can we choose just for right now a song from everybody's list that we're okay with being on a section of the?
No.
No. Okay. Well, fuck that then.
Okay. Ooh, man, this is going to be a tough one.
Other than Closer, I don't like your list, Jody. I'm just going to put that out there.
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. Most of Jody's list, I haven't listened to.
That was one thing I knew was going to probably happen.
But I think that's going to be. I think that there's several songs
There's
on
so-
my
there's
list
songs on there I haven't heard before.
Nobody's listened to.
Yeah.
I would like to make a motion to add a song to the top 5.
That's not on any of the lists.
No, the penultimate top 5.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I kind of want to add The Chain from Fleetwood Mac. It is an iconic song. A lot of people like it. It's very recognizable. I very much liked it in Guardians of the Galaxy. It's not on my personal playlists, but it's still a really, really good song to listen to.
Like I'll say it again. I don't like Fleetwood Mac, but I love The Chain.
Yeah.
I like that is.
I like Rumors. That's the only album I like by Fleetwood Mac.
Isn't Chain on there?
It is.
Yes.
So
yes.
it is my least hated Fleetwood Mac song, but I really hate Fleetwood Mac.
Damn. Okay. I mean, I have
If
irrational
the Chain didn't
hate.
exist, he and I would be of completely
Yes,
alike
that
minds.
is true. I don't get it, but sure.
Everything
everybody-
is subjective when it comes to taste, man.
I will agree. I will second or third or whatever the nomination for The Chain to be on there. I think it was best performed in Afghanistan after she was rescued by 4 boys from Colorado who were trying to return a goat. So
Sure.
Awesome. I'm okay with it.
South Park carries the day. The Chain will make the list.
All right, so we got Fleetwood Mac's on the board.
I want to give a shout out to your number one, Jason. I think it was in, because I don't have like Spotify. I have Amazon Music. Although it's kind of being shitty right now and it's being annoying. I don't know if it's my phone's just shit or what. But they don't usually have a very good like play my like they have your like my radio or whatever the fuck they call it. And it just takes all the stuff that you've already like liked and kind of like find, okay, well maybe you'll find, and they're usually not very good, but they did play this song one time and I was like, holy shit, this is a fucking great song.
Like, I really like that song.
The story that
Yes.
I am kind of a sucker for a song that kind of tells a story.
Like, with Dropkick, I used to like Barroom Hero. That was my favorite song. And that's just about a dude who goes to the bar and gets drunk, neglects his family, neglects his kids, and all of his friends are just really worried about him, right? Because he's gonna die at a bar. The Gauntlet is a really good one by them. It talks about camaraderie and friendship and how with friends you can really do anything, basically. Forever is a song about an ex-girlfriend that they broke up, they got back together, and without her, his life was meaningless. But the Rose tattoo is about a tattoo that he has about his wife. But the song talks about all the different tattoos that he has that have marked his journey through life. Like, he's got one for the Bruins, his favorite hockey team. He's got one for, just multiple things that he has these tattoos for. But that's the one that means the most to him because it is about his whole life, really. And that song that's awesome to me. I really like that song. I really like the message to it. And I mean, it to steal the word from the kids today, it slaps.
Yeah. There's some really good imagery in that song that I really like. Imagery is a big thing for me too, as well.
I expected more Boston rock from you.
You know, honestly, I thought about like some Flogging Molly on there. I thought about the Real McKenzies. You know, I thought about several.
Not
I thought about Catch-22.
Yeah.
I really like that one was close just because of the memories that those songs have from the last 20 years. Really,
Right.
Dropkick couldn't be anything but number one for me. And I had to get the Decline on there because, hey, you like punk? Well, here's 18 minutes of it as a song.
A lot of punk.
I'm not a fan of NoFX. I like it's again. It's one of the reasons why I kind of dragged on Jody's list a little bit. But if I had to say, like, yeah, like
You're more of a Rancid guy. Right?
I'm more
Like Rancid.
Like
Rancid too.
I
or
like
Op Ivy. Do you like
Yeah,
Operation
I don't
Ivy
like
at
that.
all?
Op Ivy's awesome.
Yeah, I honestly, outside of like the bigger like
Time
like
Bomb?
like Dead Kennedys and like the real like actual punk shit,
You're talking about like hardcore
Fugazi
punk.
and stuff
Sex
like
Pistols.
that. Yeah.
Like I will
Ramones.
say this: I like British punk because I'm not going to say American punk didn't mean it, but British punk meant it.
Yeah.
Well, British punk took punk into the political realm of punk. I mean, the Sex Pistols has an anti-abortion song called "Bodies."
Yeah.
In 1976.
I mean, the Decline is, you know, to make y'all's podcast momentarily political. Everything in the Decline. This song came out in the early 2000s. Everything he sings about then is still going on
Right.
now. Gun control, unjust charges for different things like marijuana, drug possessions. All of that stuff is still seeped in the Decline, and it's still talking about how just fucked up it is that we're still having to deal with it. Plus, most punk songs are a minute to 2 minutes long.
Yeah.
This
Usually
is
pretty short.
18
they're
minutes
usually
of
pretty short.
punk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like for stamina, I've got to give him for that.
Yeah.
Linoleum is 2 minutes. So
Our good friend Michael is departing from us because he is turning into a pumpkin.
Yeah.
Caitlin, we will get him home safe to you.
So the best way we could probably narrow the list, we have 30 songs on here. So 29 minus the change since it's already in top 5.
But even then, like 30 different songs. Like I think that speaks to how varying our tastes are.
Yes.
So I think if we go by like this is the best like rock song, the best pop / rap or whatever, I think we could narrow down the top 5 that way if we do it by genres.
I can see something like that working.
Yeah, because otherwise we're going to be here forever.
Yeah, forever and a decade.
Because there's like a lot of us have music on here that like some of us have never even heard of.
Let us combine. Let's go with like because kind of a lot of disciplines on here. But let's go with hard rock, metal, punk. Of those songs, what stands out to us?
I'll admit, like, I would want to lean towards one of the punk songs, but that's just a personal thing. I think
And what's weird is like I am going towards the opposite end because punk is not something that I really like.
And that's part of what I'm fixing to say here. I realize that me and Jody are probably in the minority there because most people don't really care for punk music. I would be okay with, like, say, a Metallica, or I guess really that's the only hard rock song up there, kind of, that would fit that. Maybe Lateralis or Closer would fall in that bucket as well. But I feel like the Metallica one would have more mass market appeal as far as if this is a top 5 that your listeners are going to say, okay,
Stairway
I
is
need to
also
listen
in
to
there.
these 5.
I would either nominate Metallica or Led Zeppelin for the rock / hard rock genre.
See, for me, the top 2 for that one, obviously because it's on the list, would be Enter Sandman, but then also Closer by 9 Inch Nails. Because before I ever saw that video, I heard the song, and that hits you in the kidneys. Like how like I don't want to say guttural, but just how like powerful he hits you with some of those things.
Personally, I would put Closer above Metallica, but I'd also realize that might be a me thing.
Well, and for me, like if I was going to say like that's not on my list, if I was going to pick a Metallica song, I would pick one over Enter Sandman, but Enter Sandman has more of a wider appeal to it.
There's a wider appeal to Enter Sandman, but I think one is a better song.
I have to agree with you
But a
there.
lot of it is Enter Sandman is Metallica's most played
That's their
song.
breakout song. That
Like,
was
it's
their
the song
breakout
that
song.
everybody's heard over and over and over again.
This is where I fall in because I've never listened to one before, and and I've heard
it's really
Enter
good.
Sandman.
Yeah.
It's an amazingly good song.
So I don't really.
Enter Sandman is
know-
good, but like I'm tired. It's one of those songs that I'm tired of, so I don't listen to it at all.
It was Michael's number one on his list. I don't think any of the other songs we mentioned were a one on any of the other lists. I think based off of that, and before one, Master of Puppets was bigger than Ride the Lightning, and really in the whole Kill 'Em All album is almost just a what's what about early Metallica as well. This is the bridge between thrash Metallica and rhythm Metallica, which is what you first get out of a Black Album. For that reason, I would then ask, do we want to put Metallica's one in the top 5?
I'm good with it.
I would not oppose it.
I'm good with it.
Yeah, I agree, and I'll also say real quick that Injustice for All was the album that came out after their bass player died. Jason Newsted took over for Cliff Burton, and even though Enter Sandman was their like quote unquote breakout song for mainstream, one was like the beginning of that. I think.
Yeah.
So I guess we're gonna put that on there.
Yeah, like I remember watching something where they were talking about one, and like they were mentioning where a in some classroom, like some art classroom or something like that, like they like the teacher printed out the lyrics of one to be used as like poetry to talk about. So
Jay has written R&B and rap for the next genre. So
I'm useless in that category, to be honest with you.
yeah, this is nobody's gonna go with mine because it's a song that probably nobody has heard of.
I haven't heard
I think
of it.
Jay might even be the only person who even knows who Lupe Fiasco is.
I
in
know
this whole
Lupe,
group.
and I've heard the song once. Our common friend Eddie was playing it in the car one time while we were going.
Yeah, he was playing it because I had listened.
No, you weren't in the car. It was just him and me, and it's like
but he knew that song because I had played that
because
song.
you put them. Okay, there you go.
It's a really fucking good song.
What's the R&B on R&B on?
We've got
Heard it through the grapevine.
Oh yeah.
You got
Yeah.
a couple of Eminem songs up there, which I would say are not the Eminem songs that most people would think about.
Yeah,
I will say that.
I really like Till I Collapse. Like I said, I don't particularly like Mockingbird. I think of the songs up there, I think Heard It Through the Grapevine is the like having something that's Marvin Gaye on there. I think helps give this.
I would definitely agree.
Plus California Reasons. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's also true. I would put Marvin Gaye on there.
Yeah.
I would not oppose it. I haven't listened to Heard It Through the Grapevine. But
Have you not heard any version of Heard It Through? Because there's like 18 people
I
who have
cannot.
sung.
Okay. After this, because you work graveyard, so I know you ain't going to bed anytime soon. You're gonna listen. You're gonna listen to one. You're gonna listen to "Heard It Through the Grapevine," and we're gonna pick a couple other songs to give him a new playlist to enjoy. That this is also this is a good byproduct of this. He's gonna have some songs to look at right here.
Yeah, and I hope that people listening to this actually like discover some new songs too. That's basically what I was trying to sell to people on some songs or some bands. That's basically what I was doing with my list.
So far we have The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, One by Metallica, and Heard It Through the Grapevine in our top 5.
So I want to get one in here for sentimental reasons. So there was this place called Nighttown in Oxford, Mississippi, and a gentleman at the end of the night during karaoke nights, we called him Elvis, and there was a reason why, because he always ended up the night with Suspicious Minds. I know that may be a drop of the sentimental reasons for Jason, but for me, like Suspicious
How
Minds.
Suspicious Minds go? This is a
Caught
song.
in a trap. I can't walk out because I love you too much, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just didn't
We
know
can
the name.
go on
I knew-
together with Suspicious Minds.
I knew the song. I just didn't know the name.
Right.
That's a good song. That's a good
Suspicious Minds and Moody Blue always kind of like run together with me sometimes. Basically, any Elvis song is going to remind me of my dad because I mean that's all he listened to. I bought him a Sirius Radio one time for Christmas, and Sirius Radio has an Elvis channel. And that's all he listened to. Period. Like I got it because it's got like outlaw country. It's got all that stuff that I thought he would listen to. Elvis Radio, we're good. So I know every Elvis song backwards, forwards, up, down, whether I like them or not. They're there. I don't think you can make a top 5 list that includes any kind of rock type stuff without Elvis. I just really don't think you can.
Unless you put like Chuck Berry in it. I don't
Maybe
know.
Chuck Berry or something like that. But it's got to be something from that the Sun Record Boys.
Right.
I'm fine with Elvis. That's
Yeah.
a really fucking good song.
Yeah,
I feel
that's
like-
one of his best, really.
I feel like
Yeah.
Elvis needs to be on. at
Yeah.
top 5.
Like just listening to that, I was like, oh, I kind of want to go listen to this song now, like because that's a really fucking good song.
Now, before we continue, see, I'm trying to do a Tom Hanks impersonation. There we
fucking
go.
Tom
But
Hanks.
before we continue, before we put a 5th song on the perspective list, Brady,
Oh shit.
lock and load, baby.
Now's the time to shoot.
Fucking hell. Mockingbird Eminem. That's one of my least favorite Eminem songs. It has emotion and everything, I understand, and a lot of people get stuff from it, but I don't get. I don't come to Eminem for like heartfelt emotion. I come to Eminem for either just saying the worst things ever or talking about killing his wife. That's what I come to Eminem for, or to hear him like rap really fast, really complicated, like he does nowadays.
I mean, Rap God, Godzilla.
Yeah, shit like that, where it's showing off and it's kind of all running together.
All right. I love Eminem's, like, Till I Collapse. That's one of them. My favorite one of those is Not Afraid. Like,
I love Not Afraid.
Not Afraid. I just want to get like a punching bag out and just start fucking getting fit. It'll never happen, but if I hear that song, I feel about it.
Cinderella Man. I get that kind of feeling.
To be honest, like Eminem's one of those guys where I listen to the Eminem so fucking much.
I will
and
say-
got tired and got really, really tired of him.
For me, when like Eminem pops up on my Spotify playlist, I just enjoy it too much to skip it. Like it's just that kind of thing with me.
Yeah, I just
My love for anything that he did is spotty. Like it's like
What was
there's like
his-
5 songs he's done that I've really
What was his
liked.
first album?
the Slim Shady LP,
Yeah,
Okay, maybe it's the one after that. The one with
Marshall
the red
Mathers
curtain.
LP.
that's real.
Okay,
Yeah,
maybe it's not even that one.
It
It's the
might
one
be
with
the one
red
I-
curtains on it.
That's
Curtain Call.
no, that's the Eminem Show. Curtain Call was his
Eminem
greatest
Show?
hits album.
Eminem Show is about the
Eminem
only
Show.
album of his that I know.
Yeah.
right.
Like those
And I
first
liked
3
it,
albums,
okay?
I listened the fuck out of them because I am a white boy, and that's what you do when you learn when you find some rap, you listen to some Eminem.
Here's the thought. How do we feel about Blinding Lights?
I really like Blinding Lights. It's not my favorite song off that album, although that is a
not my favorite
phenomenal album.
What I will say about After Hours, because I know 3 people here who at least own it. For me, it was Blinding Lights. I think for you it was
Heartless.
It was Heartless, and I think for you it was Save Your Tears.
Save Your Tears is good.
That album
In Your Eyes is also good.
is
In
okay.
Your
You
Eyes.
mentioned In Your
Snow
Eyes.
Child is good.
there's like that whole album is very good.
If you told me that was like your favorite song of all time or in your top 5 song list of all time, I would absolutely believe it with each and every one. That album is so good
Yes.
that any kind of person can almost find their favorite song out of that album. I just want to shout for After Hours on that.
The one question I would have with Blinding Lights would be how much of that is a recency bias
Well,
and how much of it is a
I wanna point out one thing real quick that I wanted to say a second ago. Right now we have Fleetwood Mac, Jimi Hendrix.
no.
We don't have Hendrix.
No, we don't have
Heard it
any.
through the grapevine.
Heard it through great. Okay. So we have Fleetwood Mac, Metallica, Marvin Gaye, and Elvis. We don't have one modern-ish
That is
person
true.
on there. Like every one came out in 1987, and that's like the newest song
the
that's
newest
down.
song.
That's
Yeah.
the newest
Right.
song on there.
Yeah.
So
We are
I'm okay with anything.
Mostly old fucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm okay with anything that's newer.
I would be okay with something like Blinding Lights. I would be okay with Lateralis or Closer. Those are all the newer songs.
Closer came out in 1996.
As much as I like,
Yeah.
Look, man, I'm old.
I
that's
am
still
too.
newer.
Well,
I
yeah,
am too.
Lateralis is like 95. Like
Right.
as much as I like Stay With Me, I don't see it making. the
Stay
top
With Me
five.
is okay.
Versus
but like, I'm, it's
versus
not
the
like,
weekend, it doesn't win.
Yeah, it's
in
like-
my
Yeah,
personal opinion.
definitely that. If you put those 2 on there,
Like I would go with Blinding Lights.
as
I
our
could
as
see
our
that as being the 5th one.
as our modern pop
Yeah.
song.
yeah. What is I feel like some of these. How does that Wild Heart song go, Jay?
Just so I want to get copyright struck. Waking up with an 8.2, and it seems like the easiest thing to do when someone said, "Here's one for you." More like guitar and crap.
I don't think I've heard that song.
I've never heard that song.
Another one we will listen to after this.
Okay.
So I keep stealing Jody's list, and eventually he's gonna like clap me in the nuts and just gonna be fucking done with it. So so one from Metallica, Suspicious Minds from Elvis. We got Heard It Through the Grapevine, Marvin Gaye, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd, and The Chain from Fleetwood Mac. That is our perspective 5. Mm-hmm. We got through the big part. Now maybe this might be the hardest part. Let's order it.
I would say, especially since we kind of hemmed and hawed about putting it down, and it was the last one, I would say Blinding Lights at number 5. That's what I vote for.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Because we are the vast majority of this. Even our young boy over here, our little baby, he put mostly like old shit on his list, and so we all like older stuff.
So I would put the Chain at 4. I would put the Chain at 6, but you know, I would say at 4.
Hey Jay, be careful of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Please,
I'm just
please don't kill the dude.
Drukanti, the Ark Revenant. Now, if you think we're in like a cult now, it's not. No, it's a model from the. I was about to call it the Wildlings faction. We need Song of Ice and Fire. We haven't done that one yet. So yeah, but no, it's a very beautiful model painted by Jason, and I almost destroyed it. So I apologize. So number 4 is the Chain because 6 is not an option. Okay,
I'm fine with that.
Okay, there we go.
Sure.
Yeah.
1, Suspicious Minds, and what's the other one?
Heard It Through the Grapevine.
And Heard It Through the Grapevine.
I think 1 should be number 3.
Yes, because that's funny. I vote.
No, 1 is number 2 because that's funny.
I work. 3 is a funnier number than 2.
3 is a magic number.
Yes, it
Exactly.
is.
3 old magic number.
Hey, that's what we were
Yeah,
going
it
for.
is.
And Ethan has no idea what that is.
Magic
I'm sure.
number.
No. Well, he's been to a public school, be it I'm assuming it's a Mississippi public school, so it's 50-50. He might have heard Schoolhouse Rock when he was in school.
Blind Melon covered that song. By the way.
That's a great album too.
It is.
I want to vote Heard It Through the Grapevine for number 1. Marvin Gaye is like one of the greatest singers I think that we've ever had. Heard It Through the Grapevine, like several people, like you've got like all of these people who have covered this song.
See,
And like I think that's a super, like when it comes to that type of music, especially like that, and it's just different genres have taken that song, and I really don't, and I think that's one of those songs that like the CCR version of that is good, but I still don't think it's quite as good as his version.
For me, it's Suspicious Minds at number 1. For Elvis at number 1. That's how I feel about it.
Mm-hmm. When it comes to what we have left, I haven't heard Heard It Through the Grapevine. I'm unfamiliar with 1. Suspicious Minds is the only thing of the 3 we have left that I've actually heard and enjoy. So I would agree with Jody with Suspicious Minds at 1.
Yeah, I'm thinking Marvin Gaye at 3. And then I would put Elvis at 2 and Metallica at 1. Personally, even
So
though I didn't put
1-1.
him Yeah. Well, no, Metallica at 2. Or
Oh.
Metallica at 1. I'm sorry. Yeah.
So yeah, 1-1. I don't want to meme it necessarily because 1-1 would be a meme. Just saying right now. I don't mind Suspicious Minds being over Heard It Through the Grapevine. Again, there was some sentimentality when Jason mentioned that to me. Like Nighttown at Ole Miss was like a good thing to do, like a Monday night when we just like chill and relax for the heaviest part of the study week came on, and it was karaoke night, and that was always the okay everybody. You know, that was the closing time song. That was the one where we all got out of on there. So there's some sentimentality there for me there. I don't mind. Yeah, I don't mind Suspicious Minds being over Heard It Through the Grapevine. I would kind of mind Metallica getting beaten by both of them.
I don't. You would mind them?
I would mind it. I'm also of the mind to put Metallica at 1.
See, I don't like Metallica at 1. I think both of those songs are much more important and better than one, even though one is a phenomenal song.
Yeah, I agree. And
when it comes to like
right
music as a whole,
and I couldn't put Metallica over as much as I enjoy Metallica through the years. Even though I don't really listen to them now, I also don't really listen to Elvis anymore as well for the most part. Every once in a while, maybe if it comes on Pandora, I'll listen to it. But I can't put Metallica over Elvis. That's just how I feel, no matter what the order is. I think Elvis and Marvin Gaye over Metallica as far as how I feel about that. But hey,
Metallica at 3 then?
I'm okay with Metallica at 3.
And we're back. We had to take a momentary pause. Unfortunately, we threw Michael into a ditch. He didn't leave. He's just somewhere in the ditch and somewhere in Alabama.
Ethan, I said
look.
be funny.
That's not funny.
No.
All I said was that I was doing the show Sunday by myself.
Yeah.
And
It's true now.
We just made that so much easier. Cool.
We've made your decision for you.
Yeah.
But no, we have conferred with Secret Minds, and we have came up with our top 5 song/music pieces, because there were music pieces on our lists. We have at number 5, Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Number 4, The Chain by Fleetwood Mac. Number 3, One, funny, by Metallica. Number 2, Heard It Through the Grapevine by Marvin Gaye. And number 1, Suspicion.
Did you say Marvin Gaye? Marvin Gaye. Okay, cool.
And
cool.
number 1, Suspicion.
Put some respect on that name.
By Elvis.
Kids say that one too.
they do.
Yeah,
Respect
I
on
think
my
so.
name. Yeah.
This list is unchangeable, incontrovertible. It is the sole thing that you can base your entire belief system off of. These are the top 5 songs of all time.
Yeah, sure.
And if you shut up, shut up. I'm trying to be.
This is music and shit.
I'm trying to be megalomaniacal.
Yeah, we got music and shit.
Yeah, dude.
Music and shit.
Save that for the promos. Anyway,
No, I got a brand to maintain, motherfucker.
There was a moment where I was very, very tempted, and I'm not even joking, ironically, to put Downtown Train on my list. And I'm not talking about Rod Stewart, because Tom Waits wrote and performed that song first, and it's pretty good.
There were several.
Seeger's version's better.
I disagree.
There were several songs that I
Oh, man, I
contemplated
didn't even put
momentarily.
Bob Seger on my preliminary list.
Tom Waits was a thought. Nick Cave and the Bad Seeds.
Nick
was a
Cave. Oh my God, I
Cave.
forgot about the birthday party. Shit.
I was mulling over several Rage Against the Machine songs.
Yeah.
I kind of would have had a problem coming up with the one on there. Whew.
I have 1,000 favorite bands. I'm not kidding.
Yeah.
I literally have 1,000.
So many favorite. I thought about
Spotify is my most
Yeah.
important $9 I spend every month.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Well, like what Brady had said earlier, like these lists are subject to change like a month from now.
yeah.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I'm not even like super strong on my top 5 right
Yeah.
now. I just
Yeah.
know that I love these songs and they're important
Right.
to me,
Yeah.
but I don't know if I would necessarily always put them in my top 5.
Mine are mostly like just personal, my own personal like life notes of things that happened when I heard these songs, or people that I cared about listening to these songs, because there's emotional attachment to most of mine. So
And I think that
Yeah.
goes with all kinds of music.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, some of mine I
yeah.
have very.
As humans, you're going to tie emotional thought to music. That's
Oh,
just-
yeah.
That just happens.
and time periods of your life.
Oh yeah, there have been
Exactly.
periods of my life where I have literally listened to one song
Like,
for weeks at a time.
I used to make the comment, and I think everybody probably around my age is going to make this comment, I'm never going to be that old man that refuses to listen to new music type thing. Because I never understood my parents when they were
Right.
like, they didn't like the music I was listening to, right?
they weren't hip with the crowd.
Yeah.
Not even that. I mean, they
Well,
weren't, but
yeah.
There was also one
But
reason for
now-
that too. Oh, go ahead.
But now, like, I listen to the newer music that is out,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, this is not music.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
I like new music, but I think also back up until a certain point, I think there was the paywall
some
of it.
new music, I
There,
guess I should say.
yeah, very
Oh.
small. There was a paywall to it. Like if
That
you wanted
isn't
to listen to an album, you had to pay $10 for an album.
10.
Yeah,
Sorry, when CDs first came out, they were $20 a
I'm
pop.
talking about records.
fair
Back in
enough.
the day.
Fair enough.
I'm talking about back in the
Yeah,
day.
fair
With inflation, they were 20.
Yeah.
35.
Right. But there was a paywall to it, and so like once you got to a certain age, you're like, I don't need to buy music anymore.
Yeah, and if you liked one song that you heard on the radio, you had to waste $20 to find out that the other
Right,
ones
10
were
to 20
hit.
bucks on a whole album.
But then there was like a little golden age, where I was like it was a little bit out of high school where you could go to like Pandora or something, and Pandora was free, and you could just put in
Or counterpoint.
or
You could go to college like where Jay and I did, and you could get on Napster on the college T1 pipeline and just download everything.
my
For
era it was
legal reasons,
LimeWire.
that never happened. For anecdotal reasons, I have songs that I'll never need.
Yeah, like back in the Wild West days of here, it was literally
LimeWire was the one that I used a lot.
well, that'll give you computer aids.
Yeah, well, so did all that other shit.
Look,
so
I have a version of House of the Rising Sun that is listed as being by the Beatles.
yeah.
I discovered bands that I didn't know because they were labeled as the wrong thing.
Yeah.
I didn't even know who the Unicorns were until I downloaded a song that was supposed to be by somebody else.
Yeah, there's
Ethan,
a ton
back
of
in the day,
music.
you could download music from peer groups for free. You didn't have to pay like Spotify or
computer to
anything like
computer,
that.
Yeah. And then somehow we got tricked into paying monthly to listen to all the music that we want to. It's
because
weird.
it was easier.
Yeah, it's funny how that happened.
Way
Because
easier.
our number 3 band decided to sue everyone.
because somehow Apple got us okay with paying $1 per song, and then all of a sudden subscriptions came around.
$15 a month.
And now we're paying $15 a month to listen to all the music that we want.
Suckers, I pay 10.
Well, I mean, like, back in the
I
day.
think I pay about 10.
Back in the day, you'd usually spend about $15-$20 a week every paycheck on an album.
Yeah.
If it was a big couple of months.
But I will still pay. I will say, like, if there's a band that I really have a strong affinity to, mostly like Tool or Coheed and Cambria, I will literally
Maybe Ghost.
I will buy Ghost.
Brady,
I haven't actually bought their albums.
Brady breaks out the mustache wax and goes and buys the vinyl.
Well,
I mean, why not?
I do have some.
I mean, I do too.
I do have some Coheed, but I buy like their special edition that's like
Red
100
vinyl.
That's like well, no, this is like it's like a box and it comes with like the one before last came with like a mask because it's one of the ones that the characters in the songs.
Yeah,
like this one the newest one comes with like a lamp thing that was really cool.
I was so upset like a few months ago, or like last year, I think it was, that they released a unreleased at the time album plus like 4 other albums worth of music from Iggy and the Stooges, and Henry Rollins unboxed it on like some record channel or whatever, and it was like, if you got in on it, it was like $500. Now it's like fucking $2,000.
About, I don't know, 5 years ago now at Record Store Day. The Crow soundtrack was released on a black and a white vinyl.
Help.
And it was, $35 to go get it there.
Right.
But the record store in Hattiesburg that we went to only got 2 copies in.
Oh,
We weren't the number 1 and 2 in line.
Yeah,
so
you didn't get it.
That thing's like $300 on
Yeah.
eBay.
Yeah.
I believe it.
Well, with that outrageous note, I think we're
Was it?
outrageously priced note.
okay.
Oh yeah, there you go.
We are pulling into the bus station. We are wrapping up the end of our field trip today.
There was only tiny amounts of bloodshed.
Yeah. Unfortunate for Michael.
If you watched AEW, there was a lot more.
Yes.
Yeah.
Speaking of wrestling,
Look
Hey,
at
Jason.
That. Look at that segue.
Yeah, Segway brought to you
Jason,
by Segways.
Tell us about whiskey and wrestling, please.
So there's this podcast that me and Michael do called Whiskey and Wrestling. We try to get it out every Monday most of the time on your favorite
Podcast.
on your favorite podcast players, where we talk about, conveniently enough, considering the name, whiskey and wrestling. And then just our opinions about it. And from time to time, we have the chuckle fucks from this show up.
Hey, we're those chuckle fucks.
I was trying to be on this last one, but y'all changed the fucking day.
Yeah. Sorry about that. That was Michael's fault. Blame him.
I will.
work, shoot, work, brother.
Yeah, he's not here, so I can definitely blame
go
him.
to work, and I listened to you guys on my way, and I was like, "There's no new episode. The hell?"
Yeah. So yeah, give us a listen. And then you guys can now plug something else because it's y'all show and I'm not doing your plug work.
Hey, Jody.
What's up?
Tell us about Fearology.
You forgot what you were about to say, didn't you?
No, not
No.
really.
Oh,
I was
so you
deciding
didn't- you
Fearology
didn't?
or the other one.
Oh, okay. You were thinking about one or the other one. All right. Well, Fearology is a podcast where I upload an episode once every 3 to 5 months. I'm joking, of course, but who knows at this point, about horror and horror and media and my personal experiences with horror on film and things of that nature. It's on Anchor and Spotify, so check it out if you like listening to podcasts about horror.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at all the songs I could have put on my top 5 and didn't. Damn, we didn't put any Beach Boys on there.
Oh man, Pet Sounds is so good.
Pet Sounds is phenomenal.
The Beatles loved that one.
Yeah. So did Charles Manson.
Ooh, yeah. I have a song for you.
I like how the show continues into your plugs.
Yeah. Speaking of Charles Manson, he was in a movie called Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. You know who likes movies? Silence Your Cell Phones. Silence Your Cell Phones is a podcast. Woohoo! By our friends Jarrett and Kevin. They talk about movies and shit. I have to,
Specifically shit?
yes. I have to keep my brand up.
That was a character from the Warriors, by the way.
Yeah.
I didn't know they interviewed him.
Yeah, they did. They do stuff on YouTube as well. Check them out. Silence Your Cell Phones, wherever you can get your fine podcast, and on YouTube. They do podcasts and shit on there too, right? I'm hip with it.
Jay, do us the favor and tell us about McNarb Gaming.
Gregory Spanier once beat the shit out of an Asgardian god just because he could. Not one of the good ones, one of the shit ones, like Balder. Fucking pantsed Balder, and he fucking threw him into a storm ditch, and then fucking Pennywise ate him. But Greg Spanier is the owner and proprietor of McNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi, providers of this wonderful studio space with which we record this nonsense for you every week. Or so. Again, we never know that. But no, check out McNarb Gaming. Really check out their Star Wars Legion area. They have a whole bunch of the Criminal Syndicate stuff that you can pick up right now, including Gar Saxon or Sack Garson, wherever the fuck is it. What's the name, Jason?
Gar Saxon.
I had it right the first time. I should have gone with my gut. But yes, ladies and gentlemen, that's McNarb Gaming in Goshen, Mississippi. Thank you, Greg. Thank you to the staff there.
I would like to thank Jay for putting Pennywise in the Norse pantheon of gods.
I feel he belongs.
I would like to
It feels
take
fitting.
away that thanks because unless fucking Pennywise got some fucking mistletoe, he can't be doing shit to Balder. That's the whole fucking point.
Balder was like the shittiest one of them.
No, he wasn't.
Who's shittier than Balder?
Is this how most of the shows end?
What was
Yes.
I
the?
usually cut it off.
He was one of those that.
it just keeps. We have to say our names.
He was one of
first.
those that was like Hephaestus, where he was like lame and shit.
Tom Waits.
Sure, Tom Waits is
lame.
probably a Norse god. I don't know. To survive what he has.
Okay, here's the list of Asgardian gods. Number 1, all of the ones except Balder. Number 2, Balder. There's your list right there. Counterpoint that shit.
What's the fucking one? I can't remember. It's been a little while since I've read Norse myths. Yeah, all your entire argument is just Balder is shit. Like
Yes, he is.
That's a bad argument.
Yeah. His ass
Did you
gets-
go to school for that?
Yeah, I went to school to shit on Balder.
I mean,
So that's what they're teaching at Ole Miss.
It's in the fine print of his law degree.
Yeah,
okay.
exactly. It's
Okay.
I
great.
played God of War.
Cool.
Baldur doesn't seem all that good.
I take back everything I've said up to this point because Ethan's trying to agree with me and it's weird and
Yeah.
creepy.
See, again, this is. I keep trying to be nice to the boy, but he keeps making me want to smack him down.
When has that stopped you before? I'm just saying.
Dude, y'all should have a fight to end this
I have
podcast.
held back.
Start slapping each other. Slap each other. Slap each
It's
other!
gonna be.